Buttons and bows and pantyhose. Let the comedy begin with our guest from True TV's Laugh Mob Laugh Tracks. We have the naughty hottie, Paul Elia is here. Whoop whoop! With my guest co-host, Artie Daily from Amazon's Successful People and my frenemy with an accent. We have telenovela star Enrique Sapene here with his Oscar recap. The good, the bad, the ugly, the what? I hope the recap is more exciting than the Oscars themselves. Boring! So, raise a glass, let the drinks begin.
Life is a banquet, and most poor suckers are starving to death.
I'd like to propose a toast.
This is On the Rocks with Alexander, coming at you from Sunset Gower Studios in the heart of Hollywood, where I drink with your favorite celebrities and we talk about fashion, entertainment, pop culture, reality TV, and that's about it. So pop a cork, pour a glass, lean back, and enjoy On the Rocks every Tuesday at 7 p.m. on Universal Broadcasting Network.
Fasten your seatbelts. It's going to be a bumpy night.
Oh my, it's going to be a bumpy night. And Paul, I just have to tell you, I have a man crush on you on social media. Don't think that I'm stalking you. There's a camera right in front of me.
Yeah. So, I think I pointed out that detail. Yeah. Why is the camera on my dick?
It's a very small camera.
A 5D. That's what it. Whoa.
You got the laugh track.
Damn, already? We get laughs already?
He only does it for straight people. I never get it. I get gay crickets. I'm like,
yeah, they keep arguing with who's wearing whose outfit. Got it. Okay.
Sean Kerrigan was supposed to be here, but he got called in for reshoots for his new project, so he will be back. In fact, he's going to come back. We're going to talk about American Vandal. And then her other comedian, Sandra Valls, the Latin diva of comedy, she got laryngitis, and this morning she went to urgent care, and they said it was contagious. I'm like, stay home. So it is boys' night. Whoop, whoop. I'm sorry. Paul's here. It's boys' night.
Yeah. Hit that lower register.
Yeah. Speaking of boys, I had one of the worst dates last week. This guy gave me his resume to impress me. He said that anybody who lives in a tract home is poor and shouldn't be talked to, and that he likes to kick homeless people.
What?
And then he gave me notes on the radio show, which means that he stalked me before.
Is he listening right now? You suck.
Probably.
Wait, were his notes valuable in any way?
I was like, think about it.
They're like the best notes.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
I think you can rework the through line. And you're like, oh, really?
No, but I'm a gentleman, so I didn't. It was 4 hours. 8 drinks and 2 hours of the most boring sex I've ever had.
Oh my God.
So at what I'm just kidding. But like, at what point do you call it, like, do you like, it's not working?
That's what you
How soon did you know?
Exactly. I knew in 15 minutes, to be
Then
honest.
that's when you call it.
Well, you never commit to a
But
dinner.
I'm a gentleman.
But you were eating.
It was drinks, and
exactly,
then we ended up getting
but that's the
food.
magic. Like with drinks, you can have a drink. And okay, you know what? I gotta
You've
go.
met
Bye.
me. You know I can't have a drink.
Oh, that's on you, brother. Because if you go for drinks, that's a perfect plan.
But I figure if I already Ubered here and I'm going to be sitting here, I might as well drink as much as I can.
Did he think it was a business interview with the resume?
No, he thought things were going to happen.
Why did he bring a physical
That's what I
resume?
wanna
No, I meant he
started telling you his resume.
He did this development in LA.
I was like, that's a weird detail. Like with his headshot.
Headshot I'd be fine with, but he was like impressing me, and I could tell everything he said out of his mouth was lies. And I've been watching American Crime Story Versace, so all I could think of was like, this is the next Andrew Cunanan because he's so cute.
Also, he's probably listening right now, right?
He's probably outside.
So like he's just exaggerating about details of his career.
Yeah, but I mean, because he was young, but it was like lies. He said, "Oh, then we built this 40-foot or 40-story skyscraper in LA, and then we went to San Francisco and did this." And I'm like, "No, you didn't," because he's some part of a development team.
Him and Elon Musk.
I know, right? So it was just weird, but I felt bad just being like, "Dude, it's not." No.
What, you felt bad for him?
Just, I don't like to be rude. I hate confrontation. As like loud as rude as I am, it's in the confines of my own, environment.
Right.
Yeah.
I hate confrontation. If I have a rude waiter, I'll be like, okay, he had a bad day. I get uncomfortable.
So how long were you with him again? How long was the date?
It was a 4-hour date.
You're crazy.
Because then he got food, and then we drank some more, and then I drank some more, and then the waitress felt bad, so she started pouring me doubles.
Oh, she knew.
Oh, she knew. She was part of the family. She looked like a waitress on an oil rig. Like she knew what was happening.
That he built.
Yeah. So, but like, what's the shortest date you guys have had?
He was about 4'11", I think.
One of my exes literally was so short. He was like 5'1", and when we went grocery shopping, he would literally have to climb on the things to get it.
I went out on a date with this guy, Eddie, who actually, when you see on the first Chucky movies, Chucky running, he's Chucky.
No.
He's Chucky. Yeah, I swear to God. His name is Eddie. I swear to God. And he's
so
wonderful.
weird.
He's wonderful. And we went
he was
out.
great.
We went for coffee, and it was just weirdness because I'd never been, I didn't know it was actually a date. I thought we were just going to meet.
Yeah.
But then all of a sudden, he's like, saying, I really like you and stuff like that. It's like, oh my God. Oh,
And
this
he was
is
Chucky.
Actually,
That's weird.
He was Chucky. The reason that I met him was because I
can
love
never
Chucky.
watch that film again.
Well, the only thing that really really struck me was
the
that
red hair?
No, we were outside of that. Is that
Outside
it's like
of that?
the counter at Starbucks, because we're at Starbucks. So that's the counter. He has to stand like several feet over this way so that the person, whoever's in the cash register, can see him. And he kept on telling me how, people always, that he doesn't go to bars because people will lift him up and put him on top of the bar and
God.
stuff. And I was like, I felt really bad. And he was a really sweet guy. He's actually a really sweet guy.
So he struggled with it then. He didn't come to terms with the fact
Can
that
you
he was
imagine being short
He
in
had
West
a-
Hollywood?
He
Come
had a
on.
hard time. He really just had a hard time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You dated Chucky.
Yeah.
You're never going to live that
did.
down.
I did.
Oh, God, and that was the best. Okay. Thank you to our sober listeners for tuning in. Thank you for holding our hair back and driving us home. No drinking and driving. Hello to our listeners around the nation on iHeartRadio, Universal Broadcasting Network, Player FM, Stitcher, TuneIn, Satchel, iTunes, Google Play. And, of course, we are on Facebook Live on Hillcrest Social in San Diego, True FM in Ohio. Hello, Ohio. How random, Ohio. And nationally on Bear World Magazine. Rawr! Check out my Bear World Magazine interviews, movie news Mondays, and fun movie reviews. This week, I tore the Oscars apart because I had to write it right after the Oscars. 4 hours. I won't tell you how many martinis later. So they said just type, freeform, whatever. So I made some very sassy comments. We're going to get to our Oscar recap, so I'm going to keep them for that. My favorite red carpet moment was, though, before our good friend Wendy McClendon-Covey from Reno 911,
Right.
the Goldbergs, who we got to see the other day at LATV. She's done the show. We love her. But, she's Wendy, and she's kind of, and then you could tell that they're telling her what to say in her ear. And she was interviewing Rita Moreno, and she says, oh, you're wearing the same dress, and so great because you look so great, and you're still here.
I gotta tell you, what I loved about her is that she was interviewing them from an actor's perspective. So she was asking them about so what do you feel when you were building this character and what you were doing?
It seems stilted because she wanted to say what she wanted to say.
Right.
And plus, she's not used to somebody feeding. She's used to being in front of the camera and, being the actress, being asked the questions.
Yeah.
So it was funny to see her like that because she was...
It was a little clunky.
Yeah,
Yeah, it
actors
was
have a hard
clunky.
time making that transition to being an actor than interviewing other people.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially when you say you're still here.
Wearing the same dress, by the way, that she wore in 1962.
Right.
Yeah.
She wore her dress, and then Salma Hayek wore her original quinceañera dress, so it all worked out.
No, Whoopi Goldberg ordered the original quinceañera. It was and it was a Christian Siriano.
She looked like a piñata. She literally looked like a piñata.
But a pinata that Whoopi would be.
Yes. I mean, it's her style.
No, she's
Yeah.
used to wearing those priestesses outfits where it's burlap that just hangs there. That's what she wears.
But
she's the
liked
Dorothy
it.
Spornak of The View. She
really is.
She is.
True. But she was,
That's
and
why
she
I
had
like
her
her.
cute shoes and everything. But I agree with you. She had it dressed, and she was
Yeah.
it was a big long tail dress thing. So I give her props for that. I
Like
like
the
it.
shape of water. That was a lot of water.
Yeah, was it Flint water? Because that water was the color.
For all of our audio listeners, you can check out our video stream on Facebook, on The Rocks Radio Show, YouTube, and now the Hillcrest Social app has all of our streaming video for free. So download the app. They give away concert tickets, product giveaways, everything. So check them out. My mom, Mama Rose, is in the chat room on ubnradio.com and Facebook Live answering all your questions. Keep her busy because she has a full bottle of vodka, and if she drinks too much, I had a post bail last month. Once a month is all I'm doing. But if you have a burning question, she's going to text me, and we will ask it here live on air. Hello, Kurt. Hello, Kurt. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Good. I'm still so glad you have that haircut. He was
Thank
looking
you.
pretty.
What was the before?
It was literally like a
was-
mullet, like Charlize Theron monster mullet.
That bad.
It was so bad.
So he's had this gender neutral haircut. Just
Yes. Our joke is he's our lesbian engineer.
How does one
Yeah.
get a mullet in this day and age? Was that what you were going for?
I was just didn't want to cut it. I mean,
But you cut it here. Isn't that a mullet? Short here and
I think it was the way you had it brushed
No,
back or
it was
something.
just really shaggy, is what it was.
Yeah.
It was just like everywhere. It's not like I cut one spot on
Did
it.
you cut it yourself?
No, I went to Supercuts across the street.
Supercuts.
Sure.
Kurt, I mean, we love Kurt. He makes everything happen, but he is so straight. Like, you know, when we have our super gay shows, he's just like, who was that? I'm like, oh, RuPaul?
Is that someone famous? Or?
Yeah. And then we have a straight person. All of a sudden, they get the laugh track, and they get all the good lighting.
Yeah,
and
you
all
noticed
that.
that? Yeah. I got one camera dedicated to me. Like, it's all his doing.
I love when straight people get a voice in Hollywood. You know.
Yeah.
It's
really
It's not gonna last.
underrepresented.
It's not gonna last. It's almost over. We're we just got our eviction notice. Yeah, we're gonna pack
Don't even
up.
laugh. We're creeping on you. The gayest moment at the Oscars was when Coco won, and the two creators both thanked their same-sex partners.
Oh, yeah.
Right. Yes, that was
my
great.
husband, my wife.
That was great. And there was a
voices
straight
were
one too.
different.
There was one of each.
And he had like 2 seconds. He was like, "Thank you," and then they played the music. He was like, "Okay, thank you."
So I guess he didn't get the jet ski.
No.
No.
There was. What is a gay person going to do with the jet ski, really?
Well, I mean, you know.
You don't like water?
No.
Yeah, like, dude, gay people not like
never known
water
that
sports.
one.
I don't like. I don't like.
Exactly. It took me a second.
I don't like the outdoors, and I do not like water, nature, dirt, nothing
Really?
at all. Even a pool, I'm like, "Ugh, people have been in it.
That explains.
Cool, really?
Yeah.
That
Hot
explains.
tub?
No.
Beach?
Because it heats up the bacteria.
That kills the bacteria, doesn't
You don't.
it? I
So
know.
you're not a fan of like walks on the beach. You're just laying around on the beach.
I'll go to the beach at night, but like only
In a
on like,
hazmat suit.
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, so you
I hate
didn't
it.
mention this before the 4-hour date.
No, we went to.
'Cause where did he take you then?
Buffalo Wild Wings, Wild Bills.
Oh yeah.
That's
I've
romantic.
never gone in there, but I've seen
Did you guys see a
Super.
football game?
That's like,
Paul Elia, I actually love football. I love football so much. I literally watch all the games. I follow the teams, and I scream like a bitch during the games. I love football. I even have jerseys, and it's
Really?
not for like role play.
So
It's
so
for
the
real.
Eagles. So you're all for the Eagles, right?
Just because they were against the Patriots.
Really?
I can't stand Tom Brady.
Is it because of the ball deflating or?
No, it's because he has to bring his health issues into like the game. Like, if you want to be a vegan and all that, like, do it on your own. Don't like he just ruined. Like, he's so like I'm Tom Brady and my beautiful wife, and we have beautiful sex, and we eat
Look at my
healthy.
chin. Look at my
Yeah.
jaw.
Right.
Yeah.
No, their ego, the Patriots' ego, has gotten so big, and it took all the fun for rooting for a team. You like to see them as the underdog. You like to see them have a personality, but they're just too glossy. They're the Disney team, and I don't want that in football. I want a personality. I'm a Steelers fan, number one. Then
Steelers, yeah.
Chargers. Yep.
I'm tuning out so fast. I don't know what you're talking about.
I'm lost. I'm like,
I really don't understand why gay men don't watch football, because the sport is fun because it goes by quickly, not like baseball. I will shoot myself if I have to
Yeah.
watch baseball. So things happen, and then the outfits. I mean, are you
Wait,
kidding
football?
me?
Hey, go back to the going by fast, because I feel like it's like 5 seconds. They move like 2 feet,
But
and then
so
it
much
stops.
happens.
True.
In 5 seconds?
Yeah, but then the whole game can turn around. You're always on your seat. If you leave for 2 seconds, the whole game can change. That doesn't happen in soccer. They have like 1-0, and it's like a 5-hour game.
Yeah, the field is too
Okay.
big. They just need in
They
soccer.
really
It's
shrink
so
it.
huge. I'm like, just
Right.
make it a little smaller. Just make it a little faster. Like, why you make?
Just do like a foosball table. Like,
Yeah, just have them play
Yeah,
foosball. Let me just see that.
That's why their announcer has to hold their breath while they're like, go!
Oh yeah.
It's like, they're just walking across, getting ready for the next thing.
I mean, I'll tell you, on my defense, it's like, I don't even know how to play football because in Venezuela, that doesn't happen. We don't
Oh,
play football.
I was on the football team.
For us,
in high
football
school.
is
I love
soccer.
football.
Like football, like with the actual, like American football.
Yeah, American football. For us,
like that.
football is soccer.
I have so
We
many
call it-
questions about that.
Yes.
What was your position, first of all?
I was a rusher. All I had to do was like, poof.
Really? Yeah.
Were you out at the
And then,
time?
ow, and then
No.
they're like,
I wasn't out till I was a junior in college.
Did you? But you spoke.
And I was in the musicals, by the way. Let's watch Annie again. Yeah.
our best rushers in Footloose, guys.
I met one of my girlfriends playing the lead in Bye Bye Birdie, so, you know, that just...
Yeah. She was here, wasn't she?
Oh, no, that was Melina. She went to
Melina.
high school. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And she was at the
Yeah.
Amundsen. She did Grey Gardens with Betty Buckley.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, but I went to high school with her, so she knew me as straight Alexander. Her brother, though, was so cute, but I couldn't say that on the show because...
Right.
Anyway, Kurt, do you have a pun for us? We start the show. Every show we start with Kurt's awful puns. Sorry, Paul.
I do. Also, I want to mention that curling is awesome too. I got into that on
No.
Olympics.
No.
Throwing that out there.
Yeah, those guys are great at jacking off. Like that's all. Have you seen?
My friend made a funny point though. What do they do in their free time? Is it curling like all season long? You don't go watch a curling game. So what do they really do?
I don't know, but
they're working at Target.
They need to clean my floor. Like they'll make that shit spot. They're literally like,
Nobody wants to do
They
that,
should just push a Roomba and then they're like cleaning extra.
But they must have the guys must have really nice arms.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
That wasn't my pun, but
Oh.
I didn't know that curling it works fun.
All right, Kurt.
I just got a book on anti-gravity. Did you know that?
You couldn't put it down.
Yes!
Oh my God!
Wow, you nailed it.
You guys, they're so bad. Oh, see, he gave himself that.
Yeah.
So bad that you're like, well, how did I not get that? Do another one.
Another one? Okay. I forgot how to throw a boomerang.
But it all came back to you.
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh my
Yeah.
God!
You're on a roll.
I never get them. No laughter for you.
Wait, can we just for fun? Can we do 3 in a row?
Yeah.
Yes. Okay.
Please.
Oh, jeez. You're putting a lot of pressure on me. Luckily, I have enough.
Pressure.
I know.
You know,
Came so prepared.
I don't trust stairs.
They're always up to something.
Yep.
Oh my God!
You never get them.
This has never happened.
What
in
if
the
you really
history
know
of
the
On
future?
Rocks.
You're like,
Have you been reading more about this? or-
You told that stair one probably a year ago.
Oh, okay, that's right.
okay.
I remember everything.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh, okay.
Yeah.
They always bring me down too.
ooh, backdoored
A nice
it.
addition.
Or I never take them. I take the elevator. No cardio for this one. Joanne
It's wrong
Worley.
on so many levels.
Joanne Worley's a comedian from old times. She was in Laugh-In. She walks around with her own laugh machine and cricket machine. Like
No.
literally. Yep, she does. Yeah. All right, like us on Twitter after that amazing bout of comedy. Like us on Twitter and Instagram at On The Rocks On Air, Facebook On The Rocks Radio Show. Subscribe to us on YouTube. We're putting shows up there now. I only have like 5 subscribers, so I'm doing something wrong. So go like us on YouTube or click on us or whatever. Find us on the web at ontherocksradioshow.com. Send me an email. Book me for a wedding, a bris, a quinceanera. I don't care. I will be there. Info at ontherocksradioshow.com. All right. You want to be part of On the Rocks on the Road? We are coming to you this summer. We are hosting Out at the Fair at the California State Fair in Sacramento, San Diego County Fair, and the New Mexico State Fair in Albuquerque. That's all happening this summer. I have no idea what the dates are, but go to Out at the Fair. But I'm going to be on stage for the whole day. We're going to be broadcasting live. You didn't know that, Kurt. I have to tell you that. Also, yeah. Also, pay your cable bill. Enrique Sapene and I are coming into your homes on nationwide TV sometime in June with an exciting new talk show. Details are coming soon. Next week on the show, we have actress and Grammy nominee Maria Conchita Alonso
Amazing.
is coming in. Crazy pants.
Oh, she's great.
How do you say crazy pants in Spanish?
Pantalones locos. Pantalones locos.
Oh, okay.
That
All right.
works. You were close. I was
Okay,
close.
all right. I'm getting everything right tonight. Hey, Paul. Okay. Also coming in. Also next week.
Sitting across the table.
Yeah. Very far. Next week, also joining Maria is actress Annika Marks from Paramount's Waco, opposite John Leguizamo. She's also from The Fosters and Amazon's Goliath. And coming soon, you guys, we have the guys behind the room / the disaster artist. Tommy Wiseau is coming in with Greg Sestero, chatting about The Room, the book, and James Franco making a movie. So that'll be a crazy. I'm actually scared. I don't know what to
2 hours.
Amazing.
Whoa.
Either 2 hours or 2 minutes.
but
So
I think-
to sit there and be like, oh, hi.
But
Yeah, you know, when we do the movie, we had a lot of ideas, man.
So good.
That was really
Hey, if he
good.
doesn't show up, I'm going to put you in a wig and glasses. Nobody will know.
Yeah. Oh, hi, Alexander.
I just got a little excited. Just so you know. All right, let me introduce my bestie for the night, Artie Daly.
Hey.
He was raised in Diamond Bar, and for those of you not in Southern California, Diamond Bar is a very sad place with no diamonds in sight.
No, that's
So
true.
sorry. It's so sad. But Artie's obsession with entertainment started when he visited his father, a cinematographer, on the sets of such shows as Love Boat, Dynasty 2, The Colbys, and Perfect Strangers. How old are you?
30-ish.
He attended the acting conservatory at SUNY Purchase in Tokyo. It's SUNY, right? Actually, it's SUNY. What is that?
It's State University of New York.
Oh.
It's called Sunny.
SUNY.
They say SUNY.
Yeah.
Like SUNY Purchase.
I'm not racist. That was not like a racial joke.
Yeah,
just so you know.
so like she out in Sunny, like, kind of like
No, it was in New York. I mean,
Oh, New York,
that was
okay,
kidding
cool.
when I was
Yeah.
agreeing with the.
It was under a Chinese food restaurant. He was in the back. School him back. I'm gonna get shot.
Way back. It came with a happy ending. Okay.
The Shape of Cookie. Okay.
Laugh, please.
Yes.
Thank you.
Oh,
Yeah, don't hold that hostage.
Delayed reaction.
During Artie's time in college, he wrote, produced, and starred in 2 original musicals while earning his SAG card the good old-fashioned way as a background actor, getting his vouchers on such shows Will and Grace, ER, Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and what else was popular in the early 2000s. He has gone to be, and literally, I started to remember all of the shows, and I watched your reel on YouTube, look it up. All of the shows, he played that one part in that one episode of Modern Family, Silicon Valley, The Odd Couple, Scorpion, The Big Bang Theory, Scandal, Grey's Anatomy, Castle, Chuck, Pushing Daisies, Veronica Mars, Gilmore Girls, of course, Gilmore Girls.
Of course.
And he recorded on The Haunted, Hathaways, and Scrubs. He is the co-star and co-writer of the popular short-form comedy series Successful People on Amazon, the 2nd season, which was just released recently on Amazon. You guys have to check it out.
Please.
It also made Amazon's trending TV list the week after its release. He's also the co-writer and co-star of the comedic digital series How to Get featured on Deadline, which, of course, true to its name, had each episode featured on the page of Deadline. I love that.
That's awesome.
That was our goal, and it actually happened.
Such a great story.
Yeah.
I had the absolute pleasure of seeing Artie's latest stage performance in the play Pledge, directed by our very frequent guest, Stan Zimmerman, who, of course, was a writer on Gilmore Girls, Golden Girls, Roseanne. Artie has performed in theaters throughout Los Angeles, including the Falcon Theater, Celebration Theater, Actors Playpen, Actors Workout Studio, the Company of Angels, and Pussycat Theater, which is now
No, I
Stouts
did not
Theater.
perform there.
It's a theater for adults. Man. And you guys, next time you guys can't sleep at 2 in the morning, or if you need to pick me up, look on YouTube. He is one half of the musical cover and comedy duo Skip and Terry with vocalist Teresa Ryan. And his videos have become viral hits. My favorite is Hag, You Make Me Wish I Was a Gay Man. Welcome, Artie O'Daly and the Little People.
I have never felt so good about myself than hearing a rundown like
Well, you
that.
wrote it.
Well, no, but I was like, hearing it back. He added to it. He added just a couple things.
Yeah, your voice
had to be
adds
funny.
everything.
How often
to
do you read
everything.
your own bio out loud to yourself?
Yeah.
You're like, I'm amazing.
Alexander's such. He has such a good like voice. And,
Yes.
like, it just means more.
I have never heard that in my whole career. I will be
Oh
honest with
my
you.
God! No way.
I love your
You don't
voice.
tell him this every day.
No, I get told the opposite. In fact, I get told it sounded like Ross Matthews was raped by Nathan Lane and had a baby.
Oh wow! And had a child. Wow. Okay. Yeah.
But I also
wedlock?
love both of those guys.
Yeah, me too.
I do.
I went on a date talking about bad dates, and he's like, "Oh God, I think you're so handsome, and I'm just so into you and your personality. I had the biggest crush on Ross Matthews for years."
Whoops.
Wait a minute. But isn't Ross Matthews amazing? Do we not like Ross
No,
Matthews?
he's great, but
He's a friend of the show. He's been on the show, but
Yeah.
nobody. I mean,
You don't want to be.
I don't want to be.
Compared,
I
like-
want to be like, "Oh God, I love Zac Efron. You remind me so much of him."
Well, gee.
Thanks, bestie, for the
I
night.
mean, no. I mean, who's Zac Efron except Zac Efron? There is no Zac Efron lookalike in the world.
Except he's getting too jacked, and I
I
don't
don't
find
like it.
that because it's like
too much.
you can't have fun with that.
No.
Yeah,
And you know where his priorities are all the time.
Yeah.
Himself.
Well, that's fine. Okay. You have been on so many shows, so we're going to talk serious, but I just have to ask, because I did get this emailed, and my mom said, make sure you ask Artie this.
Oh.
Castle, of course, we know about
All right.
all the drama. You had your scenes with them.
Yes.
And again, it's in your reel on YouTube. Are all the rumors true? How was the environment on Castle when you were on set?
They did not interact with each other except when we were doing the scene. He would go off on his scooter and like not
He
even
had a
talk to me.
scooter?
Yeah, like a Segway, I guess.
Was
basically.
the set that big?
Well, we were indoors. Yeah. I mean, it was Castle. It was like in its 5th season. It was a big show.
Who has a scooter on set so they could
He
go
was
back-
going all around that thing, and she would stay and talk to me. She was lovely. I loved her to death. Yes, we had a good old time. She just got back from Argentina. Her hands smelled like barbecue, so she kept letting me sniff her hands. It was very intimate.
That's not creepy.
Smell my hands.
But they weren't like bickering or anything. They just clearly had nothing to say to each other at the time.
See, I
But
prefer that. Like, if you don't have, you and I shared set for 7 hours on one day, and we were very professional. We went our separate ways. We made fun of each other behind each other's backs, not in front of each other. It's how you do it.
It's part of common decency.
No, but like on Golden Girls, we all know B. Arthur hated Betty White.
Yes.
So it's just what happens. So, but there was all these rumors of like fights and all that.
Yes, which, you know, as I will not tell you how I know that that's also true, but that is also true. Don't want to get anyone in trouble.
I want you to write a biography, and like the whole premise is, you know, one episode on a major show. Like,
yeah.
And like all
well,
the
hopefully
stories.
I'll go beyond that at some point in my career. Not just be the one scene guy.
Well, no, but you've taken it in your own hands, and you've developed your own show. Successful people, and you're in every
That's true.
episode. You're in every minute. To
a fault, apparently.
No, a question I got from another actor is, so being on the set of a major show and you're in for one episode, you know, how hard is it to, and you've done a lot of shows as well, how hard is it to get some camaraderie going on and feeling a part of the story and of the action when you're in it just, and the other actors know, oh, okay, he's here today, I don't remember your name, blah, 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 blah. How do you work as an actor in that environment, and how do you build up that chemistry, whether it's fake or not?
I think, well, I was really shy at the beginning, where I would just withdraw and hide out in my dressing room, or like not even eat lunch with them.
You take your scooter.
I mean,
you probably had rollerblades, by the way. He had like pink rollerblades. He's like, if there was a question, there's not now.
I'm telling you, every time they called cut, he was on that thing and gone.
That's
it's like,
so
we're gonna set up
weird.
again in 30 seconds.
That gives
Where
me
are you
ideas,
going?
though. I'm gonna have a golf cart on set.
On set, like indoors on
Yes,
set.
our set was huge.
You should have one of like those the wheelchairs with like the that would be awesome.
We are so whatever happened to Baby Jane. That's
Just
all you
sit down
need
and
is
go
in
like
a wheelchair. Yes.
Yes.
Blanchard.
But camaraderie, I think you find the actors that seem to be the most forthcoming and the most willing to talk and make a conversation with them, and they will introduce you to the ones that are more shy.
But it's really, really lonely, though, because like
It is.
you're sweating over your 4 lines or whatever have you in the scope of all the script. And it's like you want to make a really good impression. You're in your trailer. You don't have any pals on set to joke around with or whatever. How do you deal with that? And Paul, you come from it from like a comedian and a stand-up comedian. As much as we think it's all about the gang, when you're on stage, it's a lonely profession.
Yeah, I mean, just to circle back with the on-set thing, like you're literally there just to do your job, and they make it very clear. Some sets are more welcoming than others, but at the same time, they just are like, listen, we get it. We know you want to come back and do another episode. We get this is your dream, but we just want to finish the scene.
Yeah.
And that's the reality of what the business is in some instances. Not every instance. There's some instances where people are very welcoming and open. I just did this movie called 2 Minutes of Fame, and Leslie Small was directing. He directs every Kevin Hart thing, and he was just like, you know, so welcoming and so open. Take my email down. Let me know when you do a show. I want to come watch.
It was a fake email, but still.
Yeah,
It was
it definitely was fake. It was actually the rejection hotline number too. He, I was like, man, you went old school. Okay, I'll see you, Small. So, yeah, you just really just get a vibe for what it is, because everyone's different. Like this radio show room right now has such great energy. And
it's the vodka.
it's the vodka. It's the vibe. And like on some sets, they're just like, listen, I just want to like. If obviously he knows what it looks like, him leaving a scene on a Segway.
Right.
Unless he's delusional, which he's not. I think he's
There's
brilliant.
a lot of delusional actors, though, and then they get in their own bubble. Like, they've done a show for 8 years, and they're in their own bubble. They lose all sense of reality till their show's canceled, and they're on Lifetime, or they're doing a Hallmark. No offense to our Hallmark. No, but I'm...
They're fine.
But
never mind.
Exactly. Particularly after 8 seasons, come on, they're okay. They're probably on syndication
but in
somewhere.
their, like, they really think they're the biggest star in the world.
Yeah, and
because they're treated like it when on that set.
Of course,
True,
yeah,
true.
that's their house. They're like, yo, I'm the quarterback. That's
Yeah.
why the thing about Tom Brady, it's the Tom Brady situation. They're like, yo, I'm the quarterback of this show. I'm gonna get on the Segway. I'm gonna do whatever the fuck I want to do.
Right. But don't you get better performances when you build like a relationship? So
Oh,
like,
sure, yeah.
But like, Life in Pieces is one of I hate sitcom TV. I really, really do. But the only show I will watch and I will tape and watch is Life in Pieces. I think this writing is so smart, but it goes by in a flash. And unfortunately, we had this conversation with one of our friends, veteran actresses who have done every show, every film, what have you, said that their guest starring was one of the worst experiences they've had in their history.
Yeah.
Because budget-wise, they don't do retakes. They don't do rehearsal. They're like, okay, that was fine. Moving on.
Move
It's
on.
like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
And
Like-
it's comedy. Comedy needs rehearsal.
Yeah.
Like, let's say, Alexander, you're a lead in a show, and then you have a guest coming in, right?
Yeah.
Wouldn't you do anything you can to make them comfortable to make the show better?
Right.
I mean, he is a lead
one
in the
of the-
show, and he made us comfortable.
But
when
one
we
of the
walked in.
ladies, the lady that we were speaking to, she used this term so great. And it was like, I'm a supporting
Golden Globe
actor.
winner.
I'm here to support you. You know, and I thought to myself, Jesus, that's great. That was such a good line from her to use because she felt uncomfortable how she was
Yeah.
treated. And she's like, yeah, I'm here. I'm a supporting actor. I'm here to support you. So let me do my job.
Wow. Yeah,
You
the
know?
best players know how to score points and know how to pass. There's some people that only
That was
score,
a football
yeah.
term.
No,
Yeah.
thank you. It took me a second, but I was like, okay.
He's like, I scored before. Hollywood thin, Hollywood thin.
That's the most bougiest Coke line I've ever seen.
I still laugh when I go to a Hollywood party and people say, hey, do you want a line of Coke? Does it look like I do Coke? Like, come on.
Yeah.
Where's the food tray?
Are my bangs showing? Clearly, I'm not. That tore up.
Now, Artie, I wanted to talk to you. You also, you have a whole separate life. You work as a substitute teacher,
I do.
which is so funny to me because,
I know.
you know, we've texted and your
Yeah.
humor is so fun and it's so adult. To have this energy with kids. I mean, kids are
Probably
literally
a reaction
the worst.
to this spending time with children all day. How R-rated can I
How
get when I'm on
old?
my phone?
But how old?
All age. I'm substituting, so I go from preschool to 12th grade.
That's amazing.
Wow.
The
Yeah.
patience
And
you're
special
saying.
ed, too.
There's 4th grade today. Smart special ed tomorrow. Yeah.
That takes
Yeah.
so much energy. How do you,
does.
I mean,
Yeah, you're going to heaven.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah,
that,
that's straight up.
that he's celibate, yeah. But how do you like focus those efforts? Because if I had that, I'd be like, did my agent call? Did I get that part? Whatever. And my
Yeah.
focus would, I mean, I hate kids as it is.
Yeah.
But then on top of that, I mean, how do you work that?
In some
energy?
ways, it's nice because it's a separation where I have to put my focus somewhere else for a few hours into like real people in the real world and all that bullshit. Can I say that?
I love that you still text me though. Do you have like the phone in your desk and you're like,
Yeah. Or my
turning-
computer might be open and I can just like type it and send it as a text.
you didn't? Oh, you shouldn't have told me that.
Not that I'm not working as well, but there's nowadays there's so much technology in the classroom. They're on
Yeah.
like iPads for 3 hours of
Yeah,
the day,
yeah,
you
yeah,
know. But so it works out that way, and then it's great because if I get an audition or something like that, I can take the day off whenever I need
So,
to.
so are you getting ready to train to how to use a gun?
Oh God, I would quit.
Yeah.
I know that's the big thing that they're talking about. There's no way. There's no way that's ever going to happen.
I
There's
can't
so
even
many
use like a
teachers.
vape pen. Like that's how out of it I am. And if I can't even like, I can have a
Yes,
gun.
and then I'm having a gun around children all day. Like
just
what?
beyond like anything. Like I cannot even picture having kids and sending them to school. And I know the teacher has a gun.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Plus, on a gay man, it would just look ironic.
Is that a gun in your pocket?
Yeah. Hey, Coach Rafferty, bang bang. Of course, we're making light of a very serious subject. Okay. So
Oh, also, and one other note on the substitute teaching thing, they found out that I'm an actor. So they, speaking of a bubble, they will treat me like I'm famous. If you want to have like 28-year-olds run up to you and ask for your autograph, just say you're an actor
it's
at an
fun for the
elementary
kids
school.
28 in 12th grade?
28-year-olds.
Oh, 28-year-olds. I'm like, how many times did they fail?
Hold on. English is a second language.
Hilarious.
Me llamo
pause
as
was
Artie
important.
O'Daly. All right, so let's talk about Successful People. It's such a funny show. You are in season
you.
2. The question I got is, how in the hell did you fund it, and how did you get it licensed on Amazon?
Well, for your first question, we did an Indiegogo fundraiser. Just ask everyone you know.
Those are still working, by the way.
Yes, they are. They're essential.
It's not
especially-
just for gay boys to pay their rent.
No, but it's also for that. It's for anything you want it,
It
to
is.
be for.
Paul, you're not part of our world. Literally, a gay person will say, "Oh, I've fallen on tough times and I need to pay rent or I need to get my eyebrows done." Literally.
No, there's a new one called like a fan page thing or something like
On
that. Be my
Indiegogo?
fan or
Well,
like
that's
become my
OnlyFans
fan.
when they show themselves naked,
Yeah, but
yeah.
like you pay a membership and you get to see like all this boys.
You know
naked.
way too much about this, by the way.
They're on Twitter. They're on Twitter. Are you kidding me? You can see it on
Yeah.
Twitter. It's like, and then all these people that I know, like socially and stuff like. All of a sudden, it's like, oh, they have this page. As a matter of fact, a friend of ours who's a photographer
I know
who
what you're
takes
talking about.
pictures. He takes pictures of naked boys. He opened an OnlyFans page too. And
Oh, I love when
he
photographers
makes
take
bank.
advantage of their subjects. And I know this photographer, and I know who we're talking about.
Yeah.
Somebody who cannot keep their mouth shut. Be very careful, my friend.
Oops.
That was not even a joke. Okay. No, anyway, but so
So disturbed right now. I don't
so Indiegogo, which is a lot of work in
Yes.
itself, that's a project in itself to put up an Indiegogo.
Oh, it is. I hate it. We hate asking people for money because it was like fund our web series when like there's things happening in the world that people actually need money for. It seems very selfish and indulgent and all that, which it is, but it's also our dream. So you've got people that want to help.
Yeah, but we should be supporting good projects. You know,
Yeah.
we all complain there's no good TV anymore. You know, you have to be on Netflix, you have to be on HBO now to be like a quality show. So we should be supporting.
Well, and the
this.
beauty of it is that you also not. I mean, you technically don't have to give like a bunch of money on it. Like you could use
$5.
You could give $5 here and then 4 here or 3 there. You know what I mean? Like it's not like I'm taking from
like-
the poor
it's a
to like
drink-
make a movie.
It's a
the
drink at
asking.
happy hour.
Yeah.
I know. It's just the asking that's always, it doesn't sit that well with us, but you have to do it. It's part of
Yeah.
the hustle, you know? And then for getting on Amazon, if you're a creator and you've created a show and you meet the parameters, you can put your show on Amazon. It's like a distribution platform that's available to people besides just like YouTube or something like that. And it has the prestige of being on Amazon.
I love it.
And the
I love
audience.
it. So part of your giveaway was autographed pictures of you from your youth. We have.
my
Oh,
God.
here we go. Here we go.
Wait a minute.
Transformation Tuesday. Was there any question about your sexuality? You have the girl on the back in a sequined vest.
Okay, wait. You thought this was my prom picture.
No, what? It was like an ice skating something.
It should have been. It's show choir.
That's even.
We were
better.
called Encore, I think with an exclamation point.
Okay, come to the next one. If you support
Oh, yeah.
season 3 of Successful People,
Once
you will
upon a
get this.
time.
What is happening here?
That is so cute.
My childhood in front of my eyes.
This picture made me straight.
I feel so bad for that kid. And the thing is, those glasses, they were huge and crooked. And my picture the following year, I'm wearing the same glasses and they're still crooked, which means every day I was going out of the house with crooked glasses and my parents did not do anything about it.
You know what's funny? Beverly Hills people are wearing those glasses, ironically, and
Oh,
they're
yeah.
paying like $800 for
They
those
think they're
glasses.
amazing now.
Yes.
I know. No, they're hideous. I'm so chubby with my fake teeth and my.
Fake teeth?
Yeah, I
At
broke
that
out my
age?
teeth when I was a
You
kid.
were a popular kid.
Okay.
Wow.
It was rough.
Let's take a peek at some of your finest moments from Successful People, and you guys have to watch it and download it, and let's hope for season 3. Let's take a look.
How you doing, Chet?
Well, my tummy kind of hurts because I swallowed a donut hole. Not a donut hole, but like a donut hole. A whole donut. Just swallowed it up, paying the price.
We're gonna have to let you go.
Abby said they were for everybody.
Has anyone ever told you that you look like Ben Affleck? Oh. Dialed down to a 5.
Yeah, a couple times actually.
I do need a bed.
You need to lie down?
Oh, no, I mean, I have no bed. I sleep on this couch in Laura's garage, but it's tweed, so I wake up every morning with these weird lines all over my body, and I have to wait 30 minutes before I can leave the house. Tell you all about it over a drink sometime?
What about you, Chet Fierce? Are you even gay?
Yes. Are you fierce?
Yes.
It's
one of my favorite moments.
I hate Fifth Harmony, but I think it's because I'm actually in love with them. I used to get so depressed looking for a boyfriend because I was emotionally invested. Now I'm a slut who doesn't care about anything. Happy all the time. That actually works. Still gay.
Dude, great writing, man.
Literally sexting
Yeah, really
guys
good.
right now.
I like that shirt on you. I think I'm gonna fuck you.
I never had dating before.
It was like your gladiator fantasy.
Except I survived in the end. I'm here because I want to buy a bed.
I love
Or
this
get a
part.
date. What's his story?
He's an accountant.
What's his story?
He's an accountant.
What's their story?
Those are children.
Damn, it's
They look young. But sometimes they just look.
whoa, man.
Please. Well, we're neighbors, so I'll probably see you around, you know?
Yeah, you'll see me around, but I won't see you.
Oh, that sounds good. But maybe sometime. That's me.
You guys check out Successful
Thank you.
People.
Oh, thanks. Thanks for laughing, guys. It makes me feel
Dude,
good.
but you wrote all of it too?
The second season.
Oh,
The
man.
first season I wrote with
Killer
my
Moments are
lines,
so
bro.
good. Timing is
Killer
good. Yeah.
lines.
awesome.
Thank you. And there was certainly improv, and we all collaborated. I mean, I can't take credit for
So
everything.
good.
We
but-
just did some. No, I think.
Thank you.
You guys check out Successful People, like them on Facebook, and let's wait for season 3.
Yeah.
Maybe Husky Latino will make an appearance.
Gotta raise that money.
Plug it. Husky Latino is the character name.
That'll be in the script.
Literally
Husky
just write it.
Latino.
HL enters from FL.
HL? There's an acronym?
So it should not say a Ross Matthews type in the script, right?
Do you know how many jobs of his? Do you know how many jobs of his I get?
Yeah, that's right. We
Palm
don't
Springs Pride.
discriminate.
I'm the new MC for Palm Springs Pride because Ross Matthews is not available.
That's amazing, though. Is that for real?
Yeah.
Yes.
That's great.
3 days, 8 hours on stage. Yeah, that was really
Oh,
great.
maybe not.
Unlimited vodka in my tent, though. Okay.
Tent.
All right. No, I got a full tent. All right, let's recap the Oscars. I want to bring on my friend of me, Enrique Sapene. His career could fill a book, and he has entertained audiences internationally as a reporter on Univision Network, co-hosted with Carmen Electra, Queer Eye's Jay Rodriguez, and his telenovela credits are many, but they're all in Spanish, so I'm not even going to bother to pronounce them. His films have appeared at Sundance and Showtime, and he has co-starred with Jennifer Tilly, and of course, our guest for next week, Maria Conchita Alonso. He has produced segments for Entertainment Weekly, Wendy Williams, and was part of the cast of the new WeTV docuseries, which is even better than Real Housewives, called My Life is a Telenovela. The first episode is free on YouTube. You guys have to watch it. It is better than Housewives, and I just love it. Most recently, he appeared in the reality TV show in the Spanish market, Rica y Famosa Latina. Please welcome Enrique Sapene.
Yeah. Woo!
Okay, just real fast. Next week, we're going to Maria's event, which is on
Yes.
Thursday. It's at Candela
It's
in
on the 15th.
Beverly Hills.
It's on the 15th, and it's at Candela on La Brea. And Maria was born in Cuba, but grew up in Venezuela, where I'm from.
Which means she's doubly crazy, and
She's
that is
doubly
no joke.
crazy. But so she's hosting an event because things in Venezuela right now are horrible, and she wants to she's throwing the event for kids and for animals. So there's going to be dancing and concert, and there's going to be music and
she's
food and everything.
performing.
She's performing.
You guys, she's Grammy nominated. Her career, the song that made her famous was in the soundtrack for Scarface.
For Scarface,
Yeah.
yeah. And so it's her and Alicia Machado, who was a former Miss Universe, who supported Hillary Clinton. That was very controversial and whatever. But Alicia's Venezuelan too. And so if you guys are around, please pass by and check it out.
We're going to be there.
We're going to be there
and
for
we're bringing
sure.
one of our celebrity friends with us. Golden Globe winner.
Yeah, and Alexander, hopefully there's talks about possibly doing On the Rocks from the event.
Yes,
right?
live streaming.
Live streaming.
If I'm not parking the cars, yes.
So if you're in LA, check it out. The
Definitely.
tickets are, I think there's a link there. We'll put it up. or
Yeah,
something.
just Google Maria Conchita Alonso and Candela.
Yeah, exactly.
And
they're on
children and
PayPal
animals.
and a bunch of.
Was she a
different
voice in Oliver and Company, that Disney movie from the 80s?
She might have been. She did a lot of movies.
think-
She was with Arnold Schwarzenegger, of course.
Yeah, with Robin Williams, with Michael Keaton,
Yeah.
with Nicolas Cage, as leading lady. She was pretty
Yeah.
much,
Yeah.
that's.
And her
Salma
stories
Hayek
about
of the
Robin
80s.
Williams, she told some of them last time. She's going to tell more next week. Are very, very touching.
Mm.
So Enrique, I brought you here because you're a bigger bitch than I am. Let's just talk about the Oscars. Just some of the moments that stuck out.
Well, there's so many, but I love what's happening
Are there
after
really
the
that many?
Oscars. I think that what's even better is what's happening after the Oscars.
Do tell, because I know nothing.
All
I
the
was asleep.
scandals that are happening with Allison Janney's dress that Mark Zunino, there's a whole thing about it.
Mark Zunino
No,
did her dress.
No, it's not Mark. I have it right here because I don't know the name of the actual designer that made the dress. Here,
Good prep for the show.
Reem Acra and Mark Bauer. Mark Bauer in 2016 came up with a dress that is exactly the same as the one that Allison Janney had when she won the Oscar.
Yeah, but she can call it a reboot and it's going to be fine.
Well, but the funny thing is that with the story as it reads on Women's Daily is that Reem Acra and Mark Bauer are friends, and this designer was at the show where he showed this dress, and if you look at the pictures of the two dresses, they're to the T. So Mark Bauer put out this whole press release talking about the dress and how he feels so flattered that imitation is the best form of flattery, and how he's so happy to have been part of her winning in the 2018 Oscar.
Well, it's funny because we've had Marco and Andrew Christian on the show, one right after the other week, and there's talk that somebody copies from the other. But that's so apparent.
And the
You're
thing about
always
it is,
going to get found out.
No, but I've hung out with Mark Bauer in New York, and he's the least shady, the nicest person in the whole wide world. So what is
he hanging out with you for?
Well, we went to he threw a party in New York for Halloween one year, and I went with a bunch of my friends and everything. And he's the coolest, nicest guy. So to see this shade coming out from him, I was in shock. I couldn't even believe it.
All right, well, let's talk about outfits. I want to play Maya Rudolph's outfit. She looked like the Imperial Guard from Star Wars.
Yeah.
And she got such praise for this. It's like an audition for Handmaid's Tale. Like, what is happening? She looks awful.
There was a little color on the carpet this year.
There was
lot
a
of
lot
like
color.
very bright colors.
From the men, too. We saw blue tuxedos, tan tuxedos, and
Arnie
a lot
had
of
like a
velvet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, velvet doesn't fall like a normal fabric. You have to be skeletal and anorexic to wear velvet where it fits nicely because it makes everybody look bulky. Matthew McConaughey looked like he had a little spare tire, which we know he doesn't.
Well, and not only that, but it's so warm. So it's like great that the weather's been the way that it was, because if it was one of those LA sunny days, it would be like sweating like pigs under those suits. But yeah, there's a lot of color, but I did like it. Like you had Salma Hayek up too. That I don't know what's up.
It was the quinceañera dress.
She was dressed by Gucci, and this woman is a bazillionaire.
And you know, those are what's the famous diamond? Harry Winston diamonds.
Yes, Harry Winston.
She has almost $4 million of diamonds on this outfit.
God.
Yeah.
So why do you put it on that outfit? It literally looks like a quinceañera
She's
dress.
literally wearing Detroit. $4 million.
Their debt.
And it's a shocker. Again, you know, this woman
And she's
has
the most
access to the
beautiful
most
woman.
incredible fashion in the world, and this
And
is
she's
Gucci.
gorgeous.
So you know, we got to give her that. But it was such a miss. She looked like she literally, like, I don't know, she was like living like a folkloric dance from Mexico or something.
And I
like
get
that.
it. She's doing a throwback to diversity.
Right.
Yeah.
We didn't see any Latino actor nominees, which, again, I'm going to make the statement. If there was not a good Latino actor, then there should be no nomination. You shouldn't get a nomination just for being part of a racial group. You should earn it.
Well, and then to mention
Or
that
just for being Meryl Streep.
yeah, thank you. She can put a mustache on and she'll win the Oscar for playing Martin Rodriguez. But
Yeah.
I mean, really, no,
I only understood one of the words.
but it's the 5th year in the
What's
last.
that laugh, Paul? Was that your courtesy straight guy laugh?
No, I'm so used to like hearing jokes at comedy clubs. Like my laughs now just sound so like generic. They're like, ha.
That's gonna be my new ringtone.
Sometimes I laugh like, ah. And people are like, what the fuck is wrong with this boy?
Is that how you have sex too?
Yeah.
That was a good one.
Hilarious. Yeah, 5D. You know, let me get it.
That's funny. Oh no, but it's in the last 5 years, the Latinos have won best movie for the 4 of them. So it's insane. I mean, we're on a roll, but no Latinos acting in the movies, which
This
is
is
a
best
shocker.
director, best feature.
For best feature, yes.
Best feature?
Because there's
They never nominated?
Iñárritu.
Oh, the directors.
Yeah, the
won.
directors.
Yes, yes, yes.
Iñárritu, Guillermo del Toro, and Cuarón. Mm-hmm. They've all won the last 5
Deservedly.
years. There was a break for
Now,
one.
who here liked Shape of Water?
I loved it.
I was under impressed.
Thank
That's
you.
not a word, but
was boring.
Octavia
Loved it.
Spencer, her character kind of bothered me.
because it was a cliche.
You-
It was
you're
a
gonna-
little cliche-ish, yeah.
She was playing Octavia Spencer in what she does best, playing Octavia Spencer.
They plugged her in.
And it was
Yeah.
too Hollywood. They had such a beautiful energy and a texture going on with the scenery.
Oh, yeah, it looked
And then it's
beautiful.
like, well, let's put Hollywood people in for the names. I would have loved to have seen it with all unknowns because it was too jarring. The movie didn't know what it was. Was it a romance story? It was a political statement. We get it. And then it was like an action. And then it was too
Well, I'm
much.
okay with mixed styles. That's what Ghost was back in the day, and that movie was amazing. It was like a romance and a thriller and all these things.
But Shape of Water was about 40 minutes too long.
Yeah.
Well, that I agree. It's a little too long. But it's Beauty and the Beast.
And Best
That's pretty much
Picture?
what it is.
Yeah. Michael Shannon did his thing. I really enjoyed his.
He's really good.
Richard
Yeah.
Jenkins did his thing. That was
He-
the character that
He's
surprised me.
the same in everything.
But
he's
his character,
great at what he does, but he's the same in everything.
But I feel like the character was the surprising element of that movie.
He was Mr. Fisher. I mean, that's all he was.
Yeah, it kind of felt like a Marvel movie in a way. Like I don't know
That's
what.
a really good point. Really
Yeah.
flashy and
Yeah,
supposed to have
fla-
substance, but it didn't really.
and like a little hokey, like the thing with the sign in the beginning goes, "Hey, what about this sign?" It
Yeah.
just seemed so theater.
Yeah.
Like I'm like, when is the musical gonna happen?
yes.
Yeah, that's so.
But
That's
you
the
still
feeling.
liked it.
I still liked it,
yeah.
yeah. But those are just things that I couldn't help, but I couldn't unnotice those things.
Yeah.
So it was kind of taking me. Like I loved how teal was like a big motif in the movie. I thought that was very clever. Loved when she closed the door and put in water and filled up the whole room with water. I was like, what?
Yeah, well, it was
that
beautiful,
was-
but I'm like,
that
what are
was
you
beautiful.
doing
Yeah,
as
I mean,
a thinking woman?
Yeah, I see what they were doing, but that's what I'm saying. That's when it kind of took me out of the reality in some ways.
Yeah.
But I think
So
it's like
that's-
Guillermo constantly plays with those elements. Like when
Yeah,
he,
and
like,
that's
he
his
takes you out
style.
of reality.
He goes
Like,
between reality and which is very Latin America, like Water for Chocolate is such a surreal story where reality and fantasy are wave. Anyway, but what I was going to say, we forget how many actors Boardwalk Empire is responsible for in Shape of Water, the two. Your guy, who was good in everything that he does. Boardwalk Empire was his first one. And then the one who played the scientist, the Russian spy. I forget what his name is.
Yes.
Well, not to mention that the guy who plays the fish, he's on every single movie you've
Doug
ever
Jones,
Yeah.
I worked with Doug years ago.
Did
Doug,
you?
Yeah, Doug's fantastic. Like, even when we were shooting, he goes, "What's my frame?" And he's like, "Oh, your frame is over here." And like, he's very like, he knows how to use his hands, and he would like show me stuff because I was also playing a guy wearing prosthetics, so he was showing me a bunch of stuff. He's really a genius.
He's on Star Trek right now. On Star Trek,
Yeah,
the
he is, yeah.
the new show.
Oh, he's
and they
there.
already got renewed for another season.
Okay, right. He would
He's
be
going to be in it.
great.
Yeah, Doug Jones. He's
Doug
the,
Jones,
the
exactly.
nicest guy I've met.
He
in
seems
years.
like it. I saw him in an interview,
such
and
a
he's
sweetheart.
You have to be nice to be under all those prosthetics for hours and hours and hours and still not get the fame from being that. Like when he showed up at the Oscars, they're like, "Oh, Lurch is back from Adams." Like, but they don't get like the recognition, you know.
Yeah, but
So
he's been steady working for years.
That's true. He probably has a bigger house than like
Yeah.
some of these. Like,
Wouldn't you rather work all the time and be anonymous than be famous and not work all the time? You'd rather be famous.
I'm in it for the wrong reasons.
That's
Like
a
you
different-
guys are in it for real stuff.
Exactly.
I'm first and foremost why I'm in it. It's not. I
Yeah,
want a
it's-
house. I want the car, and I want the
This
suits.
or this?
Yeah. Sometimes you have to pay for this. Oh. Okay.
Whoa!
But overall, what did we think of the Oscars?
I liked the show. I didn't think it was very exciting, but I thought it was very respectful to the industry, and that's why I like the Oscars when it's just celebrating movies. And
I
that's
love
all
the
it did.
moment when Frances McDormand, like, she had everybody stand up and take
women?
the award with her. Yeah. You didn't like it? You thought it was cheesy?
I'm such a bitch in Hollywood. I mean, they'll never ask me on the red carpet. It seems so calculated. Even her, like, I don't know what to say. Okay, here's what I'm going to say. Her eccentricity seems so practiced and rehearsed that it's lost its charm on
I feel like it's gotten more. That's why I kind of think it's fake.
But-
I shouldn't say faked, but
yeah,
enhanced.
it's too rehearsed.
She
It's-
broke the internet with a diversity writer.
Yes, that is true. So
That was
I'm glad
fantastic.
for what she did.
I didn't
but
even know that existed.
no one did.
Yeah.
She said she didn't know until recently.
The
That's
minute
why
you
she
walk
brought it
in,
up.
they've had a diversity writer. That's-
Exactly. Well, you know, I mean, it actually involves ethnicity, involves you know, if you're LGBT, if you have any disabilities. I mean, who knew?
For crew and cast.
Exactly.
Yeah.
What do you think of the Oscars?
I didn't see him. What? I know. I had to do a comedy show on Sunday for a bunch of Armenians.
It was probably funnier than the Oscars.
Yeah, it was. Yeah. They didn't even know. They didn't know it
Armenians
was
don't
happening.
even laugh.
Yeah, they don't laugh. Yeah, they just pretty much sit and scowl. Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you Armenian? I'm just saying
I love that game. Lesbian or Armenian? Neither laugh. Neither laugh.
Yeah, that's a show on NBC. It's yeah, I didn't get a chance to see it. I did record it, but I want to watch it. I kind of saw who won.
Yeah.
And was happy with the winners. I got to be honest. I saw 3 billboards, and I have my own thoughts on it.
What are your thoughts?
I just I didn't know like that movie. I didn't know. I thought it was like this is a laugh out loud comedy.
Oh.
That's what I thought. I was like, this is just a straight outrageous comedy.
Wait, as you were watching it, that's what you went in
As I was
expecting?
watching it.
Oh.
And I was like, this has to be an outrageous comedy. Like, some of the scenes were just so made no sense to me. And, like, some of the shots, I was just like, oh, please cut to something else. You're holding on that shot of, I can't remember her name that won the Academy Award.
Frances McDormand.
Yeah, McDormand. Yeah, there's a shot of her
That
talking.
old thing?
Yeah, there's a shot of her talking. I'm just like, you know, I get, like, it just felt a lot like why I didn't like Horace and Pete as much, because like they would just hold on stuff for so long, and it was just kind of like one of those. And like she took a Molotov bomb and blew up the police station.
Yeah.
And then they had the guy. I mean, I know I'm a lot of spoilers. Overall, what I'm trying to say is
Based
that
on a true story.
yeah. Overall, like I just felt like I thought the performances were great. I felt like everyone was doing a different movie in certain respects. There's a lot of evidence that I had that to attest to my views of it. And it just, I was like, so there's a part 2. They're gonna go and kill these people. I mean, it was just a lot happening for me. And like Shape of Water, I felt like it was less of that. Like Get Out, I enjoyed the narrative of it, you know, and I felt I saw I, Tanya, really enjoy the narrative of that as well. And I felt I just couldn't get behind 3 billboards. It just felt like I wanted to know what happened to the girl. Like that was a huge detail that totally like they were sleeping on. I wanted to know like how.
But that
her
wasn't
daughter,
the point of the movie, though.
Yeah, but and like you're pretty much. It's kind of like I think The Big Chill.
Yeah.
Like they did a good job of that. They made us care for this man that we never really saw.
Yeah.
And I felt like they could have done a little bit more big chill to this girl. It wasn't enough for me personally.
Yeah.
I think that you're right. I mean, like I liked it.
Movies
but
are
I
just
had fun.
trying so hard. It's like, just be a good movie. That's all we want.
But the reality show after the Oscars is what was really good. I mean, they stole her Oscar. That guy.
Oh, yeah. Did you watch his video?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Crazy.
I'm at the Oscars, baby.
Yeah.
Some guy stole an Oscar.
Yeah,
This is
stole
my
Frances
Oscar,
McDormand's Oscar.
He's
like,
holding
she
her
laid it down,
Oscar.
and he's
And
like running
Facebook
around the
Living
party
it.
and Facebook living it and telling people that he won for music. That he won the Oscar for music.
Because someone asks him, "What'd you win for?" He's like,
Yeah.
"I won for producer, best producer."
Yeah. Yeah.
It was Tommy
Best,
Wiseau.
best producer.
Yeah, something crazy like that. Some 47-year-old guy, like he just like walking around, and finally they found him. They tackled him, and they took the Oscar back and gave it to
Oh
him.
my God! Well, like, what do they play for best producer? Like, they show the guy. Like, what reel do they show? It's just like of him walking with a clipboard. It's like, listen, we need more money, okay?
It's like, coffee's here.
Yeah, producer. Talk about the most important job. Like, it's so. They deserve way more credit.
Those people do it for the passion. Like we've all done theater. Stage managing has to be the worst job
Oh my
in
God,
entertainment
yeah.
history. They literally, but it's always. It's always that personality. You know who the stage manager is without even having to talk to
God
anybody.
bless stage manager.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. All right, let's get this show on the road. I got a comment. We need to hear more, Paul. So, Paul, here we go.
They want more of me?
One more. Okay. Let me formally introduce our guest, Paul Elia, who you did the show probably about 2 years ago.
Yeah, it's been a while.
It's been a while, and I keep track of you on social media. If you want to follow a fun social media, the good, the bad, the ugly, you put it all out there.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you. One of the questions we did get is, you have hot brothers. Are they single?
One of them is engaged. And the other one has a girlfriend. And
It won't last.
Yeah, yeah, it won't. He's too high maintenance. And the other one is available on the market. He is
And straight?
Yeah, he is straight. But he has a Grindr account just in case.
Oh, sure.
Yeah,
Oh wow.
Insurance. I love that. Anyway, Paul Elia from Detroit, Michigan, of Chaldean Assyrian descent. We're going to talk about what Chaldean was. It's not a Star Wars thing.
Chaldean, yeah. It's also not on Game of Thrones. It's
Yes.
ethnicity.
Yeah. He dropped out of college with only 2 classes left so he could move to LA and pursue acting. I'm sure your parents must have loved that.
Help me.
His recent TV credits include Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., Lady Dynamite, and various sketch characters on Conan. You guys, he's so funny on Conan. His viral videos cover a range of topics from dating to white people to vegan, so that's the same thing. In addition to a movie he has coming out called Stillwater, a murder mystery with a gang of hot straight guys in the woods. I thought it was another movie until I realized it was. He has another film coming out, which he talked about, 2 Minutes of Fame with Jay Farrow and Cat Williams. He is a national touring comedian, and tomorrow night, which is Wednesday, in case you're not listening to this in real time, he makes his television debut as a stand-up comic on none other than True TV's Laugh Tracks, hosted by Sypha?
Sypha.
Never had these names right. Sounds, which is huge. Of course, we know Laugh Mob, years in the industry, and that's your debut tomorrow night.
Congratulations.
Wow.
8 p.m. He can be seen performing all over LA, and he doesn't say no to a gig, so he'll do stand-up at your funeral if you want to.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, this crowd is dead. Yeah, I got all the.
Please welcome Paul Elia.
Yeah.
All right, so where is Chaldea? Are you like Prince of Chaldea, like Black Panther's, like a fake, like?
Yeah, but they got a movie deal. We essentially Chaldeans. We're the indigenous people of the Assyrian Empire. And the Assyrian Empire.
Did you see all of our faces?
Yeah,
like,
yeah. Everyone
we all
tilted
nodded
in the
like
same
you.
direction. Yeah. So the Assyrian Empire is the first documented empire of civilization. So it's a very ancient race of people, and we're spelled Chaldean. Yet I'll text Chaldean to some of my friends, and the iPhone autocorrects it to calzone. So yeah,
I'm fine with that.
Not a hot pocket. Yeah, thank you, iPhone. And yeah, we're
That's funny because I have you in my phone as a hot pocket.
Yeah. Woo!
Insurance.
That deserves a laugh. That deserves it.
He says no. He literally shook his head.
Yeah.
Begrudgingly.
That was like a light giggle too. He didn't get the big applause laugh.
It was a straight man's titter.
Which is that laugh.
Why did you choose this profession? Unless you have a movie deal like Amy Schumer, you're not really paying major bills with this profession. And I know that from my friends in the industry, and you've been at it for years and years. You've had so much success. and you played everything from holes in the walls to now you're going to be on True TV's laugh tracks. Why do you do this?
I can't do anything else and really be truly satisfied. I feel like a lot of times you re-examine yourself and you look at your skills and your talents. And I had that moment years ago when I was in Detroit, standing in for Michael Imperioli.
In Detroit.
In Detroit. I dropped out of college I took a semester off to work as a stand-in on a show shooting in Detroit because of this tax incentive situation that they had.
Yeah.
And it just worked out so perfect. Like, what are the chances that someone who looked just like me was a lead in a series? I just so happened to join this extras agency a week before. My photo came on the producer's desk. He said yes. I stood in for 8 months. I got all this pretty much just acting training on set for 8 months. And when it was over, all the producers on the show, the actors, they even gave me a role in the last episode.
Oh, wow. Cool.
And I was just like, I can't do anything else. Like, this is not work. And I'm going to do what I can to make this my life. So.
Were you also on set making people laugh? Were they saying, like, God, you should do stand-up?
Yeah. People were, I actually did my first stand-up show. One of the actors on the show was doing a benefit show. His name's Sean Majumder. He's a pretty big comedian in the Canadian world. So I did a stand-up at this benefit in front of 2,000 people, never doing stand-up before in my life.
And?
It was terrible. You know what I mean? Yeah. No laugh tracks. For that.
How did you write your set for that?
Oh, I wrote the hackiest jokes, and some of them I even took from other comedians.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I just didn't know what the game was in any way.
Wow.
And it taught me a valuable lesson, taught me to, like, slow down. I had a very, like, I need to be on a series tomorrow mentality, which helped me and hurt me in several ways, right? So now I've been here for 7 years now, so pretty familiar with how the game works and how business works now, and I had that tenacity.
Yeah.
And it was all inspired by why I wanted to do this. I mean, I could have been a lawyer, worked with my brother. My brother owns a personal injury law firm that's one of the most successful personal injury law firms in the Midwest.
And he looks good in a suit.
You know what I mean? Like, I could have done so many things, but
it's not you.
It isn't. And I was never the type of person to join a field that I don't think I can really excel in. And I do whatever I can to excel in it. And this is a business that it's a whole mental game that you had to be prepared for. And it's
so that first time in Canada, when it didn't go well, you knew that was just one bump.
Well,
you still had it in you to do it.
Yeah, I mean, I took a time off for like 2 years. I was like, I can't do this anymore. And then when I moved to LA, I did an open mic at the Ha Ha Cafe, and I did 5 minutes of open mic comedy, and I didn't have any material. I was just improvising with the audience. And also, I couldn't afford improv classes, so I was like, maybe I can do stand-up and improv with the crowd for free, and that's like a class for me.
Right.
So I would just do all these shows and open mics and just improv with people around me.
That's how you learned to stand up?
That's how I learned to do stand-up. That's how I learned how to do improv, yeah.
That takes some balls because with me, you know how structured, like I have a script even though we don't stick to it, but I could never just be like, okay, let's see what happens in front of a crowd. I would piss my pants.
It's a new type of power that you develop.
I have so much respect for it.
Absolutely.
I have so much respect for it. Because the fear of like walking out there and then crickets, it's like,
which does happen. Even if you are at the top of your game, there's going to be those audiences that just sit there. And it could be that they don't get you, but it could also be that they're appreciating you. They're just not responsive.
Yeah. What keeps you away from paying attention to the crickets is your opinion. Like, have you ever talked to someone who had a strong opinion and they're just not getting it?
Yes,
yeah.
Enrique.
You're not.
Yes, Enrique.
Yeah, and you're not worried. You're not worried about them really. You're like, listen, this is my opinion. This is what I'm falling back on. It's like your shield. So when I go on stage, I'm like, this is my opinion about this subject, and I'm not worried about if people are like approving it or not.
And how afraid are you of being vulgar?
I'm not as vulgar. I don't really talk about dirty stuff.
I actually have this written down because I had this. You know, we're going to have Sandra Valls on and Sean Kerrigan, and the three of you have such a different genre and such a different type of set that you do, but we see the comics. And to your point, I stopped going to stand-up comedy, especially because my friends are like, oh, I'm at the comedy store or whatever. I stopped going because it was F this, F that. All the jokes were about passing gas, which I can't even say the word because I'm that much of a prude, or sex, and it was the same stuff. And it was like, you cursing at me is not funny. I have to tell you.
Is it like a crutch? Is it like a crutch? Like, you know, when you start like throwing F-bombs and stuff like that? When not you, but comedians.
I mean, it's just easy, you know? Like, it's easy to do those things. I mean, there are some people that can do that topic and make it very funny. And
that is true.
And Dave Chappelle said this. He said, I feel like you can make anything funny if you have something interesting and clever to say about it.
Yeah.
So when people have like obvious topics and they have nothing clever and nothing funny to say about it, and it's just like a lot of stock jokes.
Right.
The audience members, they don't know that they heard that joke 4 years ago. I know because I heard comics do similar premises all the time.
Yeah.
But I feel like comedy is, I have deep respect for comedians. There's some really great comedians that no one has ever heard of that I watch at bar shows and other shows, and they're so brilliant. And I feel like people that go on stage and they waste their time talking about jokes that you just explained with very obvious punchlines, it's you know, it's just part of the game. It's what it is. It's like actors doing very surfacey work.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah. How does your brain work? Like, are you constantly thinking, how can I make this funny in your daily life when you're on stage, especially if you're improvising when you're up on stage?
Yeah, sometimes, yeah.
Like, is there two different vessels going, like one that's delivering and one that's creating? Or?
I speak two languages. I speak English and I speak joke.
Truly?
Yeah. And joke is like a new language. Like when I hear something, I'm like, okay, I know that this would make it funny, and like it's almost like math in a way.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. I'm kind of like the Rain Man of comedy. Like I'm just like looking at the blackjack table. Yeah. Jimmy Babbitt. Babbitt. Yeah.
A good friend of mine named Julie makes puns all the time. She should meet him.
There's a huge market for it. I didn't know it until we've had comedies that love what he does. I sweat up a storm here, and they're like, So I'm so curious as to, it must be like a cabaret performer, and I do a lot of cabarets, and you keep your songs in your library, and you always have that library, but you always have to add 3 or 4 new songs. How often do you work on your material, and do you just have this catalog of jokes that you go to, and how do you build that set?
Yeah, well, it really depends on the audience. Like I kind of get a vibe for who's in the room. Like I have my jokes for people that are in their 40s. I talk about my family. I have jokes when it's an all young crowd. If it's just all women. If it's, you know, all dudes. You know what I mean? I got.
Oh, you called us dudes? Thank you.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's
a first. Dudes. You know, so yeah. And I mean, I'm constantly writing, and the easiest thing to tell is the truth, but it's the hardest thing to say. And so I'm just trying to say like what I really think about certain subjects. Like I'm starting to talk about like religion. I'm starting to talk about being my family, talk about dating in real ways, you know. So it's you learn more about yourself doing it. And it's like very cathartic.
Yeah. To
say it in front of people and they like clap and they get it.
I feel some comics use their family and friendships and dating as like they overuse it. Like they just have it to use it for their jokes, whereas I feel when you approach it in your comedy, it comes from such a real, sincere place that it's funny storytelling rather than you telling a joke at me, fabricating this thing that your friend did that's so funny that you copied down because you thought it would be a joke. And one of the questions we got from some other comics is, how much do you incorporate from your personal life, and is it hard to build friendships and go on dates when they think you always have to be the funny guy? Because we've hung out and you're always, I wouldn't say you're on, because being on is very insincere. You know when somebody's on, but this is your natural energy. So is it hard to build friendships and go on dates when they think that you're still doing your bit, and when they think, oh, he might use this in his next piece?
Right. It's a lot of pressure for people to, like when you say you're a comic and people, like it's almost like if you say something funny, they're like, oh, this guy's so on. And I'm like, this is just who I am. Like, I'm honestly
like I'm also funny.
Yeah, like
just as me.
like Alexander is such a pleasure to be around, and like you're not putting on an act. This is who you are naturally.
No, but I could never get up and like tell jokes, and my humor is all reactionary. It's like I have to say something to what you just said. So like I'm literally just talking to you. I'm not doing anything.
Exactly. So I feel like my humor has learned. I mean, it used to come from a forceful place in some respects, but now I feel like I'm comfortable with who I am, and like if I hear a joke or if I hear someone say something and I'm like, oh, I know this would be funny if I tag it with this, I say it, and if they open that up to, oh, this guy is so on, then I'm like, you know what? I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
Like, it's a lot of, like, I'm a very happy person, and I love laughing, and I can laugh all day, and I choose to do that. So for some people, it makes them uncomfortable in certain respects. And for other people that kind of get me and understand me, they can see through that and say, this guy's not trying to put on an act. He's just generally a happy person. But I am careful of who I am around in certain respects, because there are some people that aren't welcoming of that. You know what I mean? In a lot of respects. And there's,
I imagine if you get somebody who's like very insecure or something like that, they might feel, oh, is this dude making fun of me? Is he like, you know? And it's like, no, dude, this is how I am. Like, this is how I roll.
Yeah, it happens a lot with store clerks, because like I just like making them smile sometimes.
Right.
Like, especially at Vaughn's. There's a Vaughn's by my house, and I'll just like make a joke, and like sometimes they like really enjoy it, and sometimes they're just like, no.
Well, the joke is the job, so. I'm totally kidding. In fact, I had this talk.
This show is sponsored by Ralph's.
Their uniforms are better. I have such a thing for waiters and grocery clerks. I don't know what it is. I get a natural like
they're so hot to you?
So hot. Like if they're in the service industry, but not even like
because
like
they're there
a
to
waiter
make
at
you
a,
happy.
like a nice restaurant, like grocery, valet. I'm all about it.
Yeah.
Anyway, that was just
Sure.
Thanks for the note.
I want to talk about social media and being a comedian. Now you can't just be on stage and be a comedian and be funny and then, you know, get that role in a sitcom or tour or get your Showtime special. Now you have to work as much on editing and creating content for Instagram and all that. And you know this as well. That must be so exhausting. And some stand-up comics are great holding the mic and being themselves, but they're not going to sit at a computer and edit. But now it seems like that limits a comedian's lifespan or reach.
Yeah, that's the new world. It's kind of like I put a lot of time to understand the craft of acting. I put a lot of due diligence into that. Now you have to do the due diligence digitally with how to market yourself. That's just a new school that's unavoidable. Like there's so many comedians that are so funny, and their profile doesn't reflect that. Their profile, they have like 2,000 followers on Instagram.
Yeah.
And they're like, you see they're posting every day. But they just, it's a new business that you have to just understand and submit to.
Yeah.
You just have to submit to it. You
Is
have
it
to
hard to
learn
translate your stand-up sense of humor into a social media?
But the content is completely different.
Yeah,
it's like
I mean,
trying to produce for TV or trying to produce for digital content.
Yeah,
there's so many of this girl. There's this girl, Lily Pons. So there's only been one.
Yeah,
she's
yeah,
beautiful.
Lily Pons. Yeah,
yeah, Lily Pons, and
is
she
that
has
a face cream?
it sounds like that.
It
sounds like
there was that laugh.
she has like
yeah. She sounds like a girl that's desperate. Lele Pons.
Yeah,
I went to high school with her.
What is she pawning off?
But she has like 25 million followers, and all she does is like do like funny videos. But then you put her on
funny,
stage.
though?
Yeah, funny videos, like dumb, you know,
They're
like
cute.
they're cute. But then they've hired her because of course, the following that she has to host events or do things, and it's wonk wonk wonk.
It's a different world.
It's a different world.
Real talent is being naked on stage. We all know that when our teleprompter goes down, like you experienced that the other day, or when somebody forgets their lines on stage or whatever, and you have to go back to your natural state, it's being naked on stage. That's where the true talent is.
Yeah.
But Paul, you do it very, very well. In fact, I want to play, I love this clip because you comment on what people are thinking at all the time. We're going to play the vegan clip on how to be a vegan because it's so funny. And this is just an example of some of the clips you do. You did a very funny one where a black girl comes in and she says crackers all the time, which is so funny. Yeah. But let's look at Paul Elias, how to be vegan.
Being vegan is the wave of the future.
Yes, and why would you have a steak when you can have this radish?
Only 3 things you need. You need a blender, some kale, and a lot of white friends.
Oh, and you need a with almonds.
Yeah. Wait, what? What?
Yeah, man, they use almonds for everything. Almond milk, almond butter, almond cheese.
Do they make almond meat?
Yeah, it's called almonds. We're gonna show you how to make the perfect vegan smoothie.
Little bit of almond, little bit of kale, and 2 white friends.
See, this is all editing with the music in the background and
Yeah, but it's really simple. It's like the format that they make it is like it's very friendly.
Super simple, and it only cost us $83. Like drinking the phone bill.
Yeah.
You're not a real vegan unless you tell everybody.
Yeah.
If you're not bragging about it, it's not real.
So that's great. Like
And
that's
accurate.
great digital content.
And
too.
that's something that you're going to share, even whether they know you or not. You're going to share with your friend that just said, "Hey, I'm vegan," which happens like every single week. But that's a whole other talent that you now have to pay attention to.
Yeah.
That
for
has
sure.
to be exhausting. And there's no school either to say, this is how a comedian edits their viral videos, or this is the script you write for a viral time, or you fit it in 1 minute.
Is that why you dropped out of college
Yeah.
with 2 classes to go? You're like, they're not teaching me this. I'm
Yeah,
out.
yeah, pretty much. Yeah, I'm like, I need to be an Instagram model.
Which you kind of are. You've gotten a little sexier with your pictures.
Yeah, a
'cause
little bit, you know
You
what I'm
worked
saying?
out
That
for
sells
last
too.
year.
A
Yeah.
little bit of nutrition, in my life.
What's that?
He knows.
Yeah.
His nutrition is playing Dungeons and Dragons. Oh my god, that dated me so much right now. Playing whatever,
that's still
whatever game.
Dungeons
They,
and
That-
Dragons.
Isn't that still a thing that kids, whatever gamers play?
Yeah.
Dungeons and Dragons. I'm like,
what game are the kids playing now? See,
well, I play Destiny or Call of Duty and stuff.
Call
like
of
that.
Duty.
Yeah. What about
Call of
Temple
Duty,
Run? You don't do
yeah.
Temple Run?
Sure.
Oh, okay. Sure.
oh, he just shaded us. By the way.
Yo, through hella shade, yo.
Straight shade.
You just Stacy dashed us. Like,
Oh my god, I can't believe that she's running. I mean, like that's crazy.
oh my God, what is she doing?
That's
At this
insane.
point, anybody could run.
She
the
is
literal-
clueless. Okay, she is.
Exactly.
So I got this question from somebody that was actually running for office, local city council. Is are we being too PC in comedy, and is it a comic's duty to be PC to build on the energy of diversity and inclusion and equality to a mainstream audience? You obviously you are in front of a mainstream audience. You're going to reach a white straight man more than a show like this or Will and Grace or anything else. So do you feel it like your duty to be a little bit PC?
I think we're in a we're in a certain time, and there's a lot of necessary movements happening, like Black Lives Matter, Me Too, Latino inclusion. Those are very important movements that definitely need a spotlight on. And I feel like that doesn't mean you can't tell jokes. There's a lot of, like, Dave Chappelle. I don't know if you guys seen Dave Chappelle's last special, but he made some comments about the Me Too movement. And I feel like you can say something if you have something clever to say about it. Like, you can't just talk about Me Too or say something about Latinos or Black Lives Matter and have nothing of, like, substance or not a clever observation that's backed by any type of fact, which is what a lot of people do, and that's why they get in trouble. It's like, you're just clearly just racist.
Right.
Yeah.
So I don't really.
But being racist is kind of funny because we've all made racist jokes with our friends.
For sure.
Nobody is free of that because it's a cheap joke that you can appear funny for. But like my joke was there were more hashtags at the Oscars than there were facelifts. Because I think we're losing so many messages because we have so many movements
There's a lot
going
right
on.
now. Yeah.
Yeah, but there's so much. It's like, okay, come on.
But you have to make fun of it. In fact, I watched part of The View this morning, or actually before I came here.
While you were teaching?
No, it was today's View I watched when I got home, or yesterday's. And she was, Joy Behar, they were talking about jokes at the Oscars and making fun of Trump.
She's great because she
I love
doesn't
her.
give a
She doesn't, but she also says, like, humor is essential because it's also to highlight something
She
in
was
a
a stand-up
satirical
comic,
way.
too.
Yes, it's not just to, like, poke fun or tear something down. It's to speak of the issue, but in a smart way. So I think humor, you have to make fun of things.
Yeah.
Not make fun, but, use humor in these things. Absolutely.
Yeah, but so many people take offense to it. Like
But they can't tell the difference. That's on them.
Yeah.
The comedian, I think, should
people
still
are
make the joke.
waiting by their Twitter, like, I can't wait for you to say something so I
angry.
can tweet it. Yeah, those are the digitally woke people. That on digitally, they're like, I can't wait to say my opinion about how I think this is outrageous.
because it's going to make them famous.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I'm
But
like,
it's
yo,
fake
where were
fame.
you 3 years ago
Yeah.
when this was happening? You were nowhere to be found. Now that it's cool to hashtag this thing, now you're doing it?
Yeah.
What? Get out of
Wait,
here.
so do you watch yourself? Or do you just try to be smart about the jokes you make?
I mean, I talk about things that I've been thinking a lot about religion lately, thinking a lot about Catholicism specifically.
Is that because of your own personal
Yeah,
journey?
yeah,
Interesting.
yeah. A lot of my own personal journey, and my roommate's Muslim, so like, and I'm Catholic, and we pretty much agree on everything
Catholic
except.
too.
I'm
Oh, you're
Catholic.
Catholic
Did
too?
you see about
Raised and proud.
the Italian prostitute that just handed in the file with like the 40 priests
40
in
priests
Italy
at
that are
the
gay.
back.
Yeah. And again, like I have my own thoughts
That
on
writes
that,
itself,
you know.
but that
and-
writes
Yeah, I thought that was a joke you were saying.
No, it's
yeah,
just-
not good for our PR.
That's PR chaos.
Yeah. Someone put a condom in the collection plate. And
Catholics don't use condoms.
so I
That's
mean,
why they get them young, because no one's gonna get pregnant.
yeah, I mean, like that's such a yeah. So I mean, I have my own opinion about those things. Obviously, people are very sensitive. We're living in a time where people they you can't wait to say their opinion about how someone is a piece of shit. And it's
Yeah.
just,
Right.
Yeah.
But in comedy, when you're on stage, you can say whatever you want if you have something funny to say about it. That's my take
Yeah,
on that.
I agree.
I have seen comics go over the line though, and then it's like dead comedy. You still have to be relevant. You still have to get a pulse on the audience. Are they going to appreciate this? Are they going to learn something from it? And am I going to look good doing it?
And you have to
too?
find the line. I mean, with the whole Kathy Griffin picture thing, wouldn't that be fine?
Yeah. What do you think about that?
I mean, there was nothing no humor in that. It was just clearly diabolical, and it was clearly just like low hanging. Like the fact that you're showing a president's head, like the fact. Let's say it went her way. Perfect scenario. Everyone retweets it. Says she's a genius.
it did go her way.
Yeah. I mean,
I don't know.
Not
She
really,
did-
no.
She did it for that. If everybody said, "Oh, that was great," they would have forgotten about it.
Yeah,
in
She
2
lost
days
her
lost
later.
tour,
all-
her job.
everything, yeah.
Like,
She did
CNN.
a new tour in whatever.
No, she's not doing. I mean,
But
like,
I mean,
she really hit her.
the whole point of I would feel honestly really weird if everyone in the country was praising her for that. I'm like,
Correct.
dude, that's like what? That's murder. You're chopping someone's. What are you, an ISIS?
But behind the scenes, the guy that did that photo shoot is known for doing all of these outlandish. He did a whole photo series of black artists with lynched white people, but nobody said anything about that. This artist, that's what he does. So for him to do that was nothing out of the ordinary.
Okay, so you're gonna tell me that this woman that must have like 700 agents, a PR person, a manager, an attorney, somebody there, nobody said, "Hey, this might be a bad idea."
But we know Kathy Griffin, she just wants her name out there. And I
Yeah.
hate to say that, but that's what, like you asked about fame over substance. That is somebody that wants fame over substance. And I'm sorry to say that, but we talked about her when we hadn't talked about her for a while.
yeah, and she did try to make it a commentary joke. Didn't she tweet or with it like he had blood coming out of his eyes, coming out of his whatever? Remember how he had said that? Trump had said that about someone that she was bleeding from everywhere, and he was trying. She was trying to turn it
She was talking about her
around
menstruation.
to make it
Yeah.
about
Yeah.
this thing. So I guess she attempted to,
Yeah, I mean,
toe the line.
there's. I think the avenue she took was very risky.
Yeah.
and I thought it was a very dangerous avenue to take, and she suffered the consequences. If her goal was to point out awareness of Donald Trump, she could have done it in a way that really grabbed the audience differently. She could have went on a talk show and done it.
Yeah.
She could have made like a little viral video of her just sitting down talking about it.
Let me ask this though, as a straight man, do you follow her on Instagram?
I do not.
Do you follow her on Twitter?
I do.
Oh, you do.
I do follow her on Twitter. Yeah, yeah.
She's
really
probably
she's hilarious.
have talked about her more in the last 6 months than you have in her whole career as a fellow comedian.
Yeah, I have a lot of gay friends, so Kathy Griffin was one of my suggested followers to follow, and she.
You don't have to do everything a gay man suggests you to do.
yeah, I know.
Don't tell Alexander
I
that.
have a few suggestions. They're typed up and double spaced.
yeah. On the rocks. And she's hilarious. Kathy Griffin is one of the funniest comedians in the game. No one will ever take that away
She's
from
a
her.
storyteller. You know, she
Great.
literally just tells stories.
Yeah, I think her, Joan Rivers are like two of my favorite female comedians of all time. And Wanda Sykes. Wanda Sykes is also
She's the
hilarious.
best. Wanda Sykes is the best.
And I mean, they're so funny. And I mean, I will never take anything away from Kathy Griffin. She is a genius. But that photo, just bad move. Wrong time, bad move. It happens.
Huh. All right. We're talking about some good stuff here. So let's talk about your time on Conan.
Yes.
You know, being like their character, funny guy. Like, just even walking there and like knowing that I'm on the Conan show, that has to, we talked about like trying too hard. But now you're kind of part of the Conan family.
Yeah, and they call me for things, which is really, I mean, I'm so grateful for that. And recently I did a character, and it was very well received, and it was such a It was so great to do a live
Which
sketch.
character? Do tell.
So the character name's Brogan Dank. That's him. And, he's a social media phenom. And
Hashtag bacon.
Yeah.
Nice.
So they gave me the script the day before.
This is one of my go-to places. Hashtag bacon. Well, and you and like that.
Yeah. So you're not Muslim. Okay, that's one thing that this character was really fun to do. They sent me the script the day before. It was 5 pages of dialogue. Wow. Right when I got there, I was completely off book, and it was a lot of alliteration. Like I had to say, if I get 10,000 dank pranks ranked in the tank, you'll receive an exclusive dank thanks to all my dank skanks. Dank. And I had to say that.
I would freak out from that.
While holding a camera that was plugged into this monitor, and the camera was up, like when I look at myself, it's a camera like that, like these ones we have.
Yeah.
But they're upside down when you flip them, because I had to do it selfie style.
Yeah.
So I had to hold the camera like upside down, live, on one take. You can't mess up.
That just like even made my heart start beating.
That's what was nervous about it, because I was like, guys, the camera is just upside down in rehearsal. And they were like, you know, man, just make it work. And I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna make it work. And Conan was unaware of the difficulty. And then right after, before I got on, they're like, yeah, we're going to cut these 2 pages. So then I had to re-memorize the 3 pages, because I was like, oh, these are kind of out of order.
It's worse than a soap opera.
Yeah. Oh, my. I mean.
Telenovela.
And then live in front of millions and millions.
How did it
Like,
go?
Yeah. I mean, I hit everything right.
nailed it.
I
Nailed it.
Yeah, I nailed it, and I felt really good about it, and I just went for it. Louis Anderson was one of the guests.
Oh wow.
He was like, "Man, you don't give a fuck." He says, "You're so brave, man. You just went for it.
Yeah.
You were like crazy." Because the character's like this.
And then he tried to take you home.
Yeah. Well, he did. You know what I mean? I was his Uber driver, so I took him home. You know, double duty. He's so big, it was a lift pool. So
I love Louis Anderson. He's doing such a great job on baskets. By the
there you go. Yeah.
Straight people get all the lines.
Yeah. Honestly, he was just in love with my hashtag. He said it was delicious. So that's how Louis Anderson and I had sex. Okay.
I have so many jokes about that. Oh!
Yeah. That was all the straight people like, how can you switch teams?
Yes.
We need you.
No, but you made my audience very happy. But like after you finish a night where you film that live and you're like, oh God, and you do it, and then you go home and you're like, okay, you know, keys in the door and it's just you. How do you deal with that adrenaline?
Yeah.
And what do you do the next morning? Do you just like check to see how many new followers you have, or do you call your agent? Like, what do you do?
I'm gonna be very real with you guys.
Yes.
I'll be very honest with you. I for some reason there was a part of me that I wasn't completely happy with what I did, and I didn't understand why that I didn't like it. I was just like, I feel like it was something else, and they cut the pages, and there was a lot working against me, and I think I should have got more laughs in the studio, even though, and I was completely dismissive of the fact that the character was very well received, and at the time I just kept thinking I could have done better. And I went to the Comedy Store, and we were in a room, me and a bunch of comics and a bunch of people, and we saw it live, and that's when I felt, and all the comics were clapping after it was over, and that's when I felt the sense of satisfaction. But it was interesting that when I left, I wasn't completely satisfied with what I did, and it's a very poisonous place to be.
Yeah.
But it's a very artist place to be as well.
That's what artists do. We're never happy with what we do. That's a very real moment. Thank you.
I wonder if you had watched it by yourself, would you have felt the same satisfaction, or was it the approval of your peers that really took it home for you?
Yeah, every time I watch my work, I mostly watch my work by myself. Like if I have like Laugh Tracks is airing, I'll like watch it at my house by myself just to watch it. And that's kind of like what I've been doing, and I'm learning to look at what I do and not say like, oh, well, I could have done more.
Yeah.
Like if I have like two lines in Major Crimes, I'm just like, man, I should be a regular. But I'm like, why do I have to go there? Why can't I just appreciate this step?
But that helps us like continue to want to grow.
No, but
if you're ever satisfied with your own work, then you're not. You think Meryl Streep is like, I'm done. Like, I'm done working at my craft. No.
But I think it's poisonous to a certain degree. It's like, I agree. Just, I see you have to be, like, being grateful for that. You know what I mean? And doing the best job that you can do with that, if it's 1 line, 2 lines, or whatever. Yeah. You know? And then why are you going to be, instead of enjoying the moment that you are doing this show, that thinking, well, if I had 3 pages, I'd be happier than if I had the moment left. The moment's gone. Yeah. And then it's never ending.
Well, that is true, too.
It's both. You have to appreciate what you have, but also still work for more.
Correct.
Right?
Yeah, and I feel like sometimes you don't appreciate what you have. It's the reverse. You don't appreciate what you have, and you still want more.
Yes, you're envious and angry.
Yeah.
But you had that opportunity. Obviously, you're good enough to get that opportunity.
Definitely,
so, I mean, that's huge. Conan,
and you're there for a reason.
And I think Conan is one of the funniest men on TV. Jimmy Fallon, out. Jimmy Kimmel, I hate to say it.
I did Kimmel, remember? I did 2 episodes.
I know. You played the foreign correspondent.
Yeah.
But I just think that they're vanilla funny at this point. And, you know, I miss, like,
Letterman.
With a bite.
I loved Letterman.
Letterman.
I haven't watched his Netflix show, but I loved his show.
Oh, his Netflix show is great. I mean, the one he did with George Clooney was like, George Clooney's so charming, but like when he was on the show, I was just like, he's not like a comic, and it's like hard to interview him because people didn't know what was funny. Yeah. But the one he did with Obama was so, you guys gotta watch it.
Really?
Oh my god. His show that he did with Obama was
I haven't heard a word about it. No one's talking about
it. So brilliantly
Trump
shot.
is shutting those tweets down.
I guess so. Probably.
You guys, Trump tweeted about Obama today. It's like, get over it.
No, he tweeted about the Oscars.
Yeah.
Saying like that because it had the lowest ratings ever.
But nobody put him down at all this show. We talked about equality and diversity. That's all we talked about. I thought,
they correct a couple of jokes, but also, nothing like major.
Ratings also don't matter because on Facebook, some of those clips from the Oscars got millions of views. Yeah. Like their live streaming got millions of views, and they don't factor those into TV by the numbers ratings.
But you didn't see the tweet because the tweet ends in something along the lines of like, that's because there's no stars anymore. The only star is your president. Yeah. Just kidding. Ha ha.
It's like a Gloria Swanson. Whatever.
Yeah.
But Paul, I'm also a fan of the acting work that you do, not just in your viral videos, because you do play a character different than what you do on stage, but also you have a movie coming out, and we're going to watch the trailer, Stillwater, which I'm going to watch for so many reasons.
Shape of Stillwater.
Yeah. Let's take a little peek at Stillwater. Oh,
that was great. That was it. It's a Vine video.
Man, we're gonna get. It's bad.
How the hell did this happen?
He fell, man.
We're not gonna move any bodies until the cops come over here and sort all this out.
You don't think it was an accident?
So handsome.
There's no way he fell down this cliff.
What are you trying to say, man? Did one of us kill Coop? We've known each other our whole lives. Which one of us is capable of committing murder? We better get some answers right now. Guys?
Where do you think you're going?
Oh!
Nobody leaves! Give me your hands!
No one needs to check in with the real world till after the weekend, right? So nobody leaves until we figure this out.
How are we gonna get out of this?
We gotta find out what happened with Cooper, man. Someone's not telling us something. Whoever killed Cooper is right here.
It's the soundtrack of Gladiator, by the way.
I was wondering about the music. It really was.
Yes.
Whoa.
Nice.
Boom.
That looks hilarious.
And then I pop out at the end and go like, just a joke. No, but I love seeing the side of you because you are a very good actor too.
Yeah. Thanks.
You know, they say comedy is the hardest acting at all. When Jessica Lange filmed Tootsie, she thought she was the worst actress and she almost gave up her career because she couldn't play comedy. You don't play comedy.
No.
No.
You know, it just is.
There's certain actors, like even I was so happy yesterday for. I mean, I know you have your opinions and everything for Allison Janney winning the Oscar.
Oh, she's a great
because
actress.
she's
on
so
a sitcom,
incredible.
you guys.
She makes you laugh until you're rolling on the floor, and then makes you cry like a baby. And I love that about her. So it's such a gift.
And in that movie, she made you laugh in this really dark character that
Correct.
she played. That's a hard thing to do.
Yeah.
All right, you guys, we have to end the show.
Oh.
But we're going to end it on... We're going to end
You're
it
rejected.
with... rapid fire. So all three of you are falling victim to rapid fire. It's not deep. It's just like fun little questions. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first.
All right, Paul. Worst pickup line that you've used?
Worst pickup line I've ever used was, "Are you from Fine as Hell Town?"
Did it work?
No, it did not work. And anyway, yep. I'm sorry. Your mom's in the comment section like, everyone says that you suck. Los suckos?
That's why you moved to West Hollywood. Okay. The last show that you... The last show that you binge watched on TV?
Stranger Things.
Oh. The first season or second? Yeah.
First season.
Oh.
Did you watch the new season?
Not yet.
Okay.
I still haven't seen it.
All right.
I just want to see. Winona Ryder did that comeback shampoo commercial. Did you guys see that?
What?
I almost started crying because I love Winona Ryder more than anything. The whole commercial leads up. It's like everybody deserves a second chance, and then it's her at the end.
Oh,
and
that's
says,
right.
Doesn't your hair?
No. Yes, she did. That's right.
This is happening right now?
Yeah.
That's. And the shampoo's not even Pantene; it's like Suave.
Yeah.
Okay. Paul, if you could go back and star in any classic film as the lead, which one would it be?
On the Waterfront.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, nice.
Which we just saw Ava Marie Saint, by the way, who looked glamorous. Christopher Plummer, Rita Moreno, Ava Marie Saint proved class is ageless in Hollywood, and I'm glad that they were there. What would your Real Housewife tagline be?
Can you give me an example of one?
Some say my heart is cold, but it's just diamonds.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So they turn to look at the camera, and it happens at the beginning, and they say like, "People say I'm a bitch, but I don't live in a kennel," or I mean, something, whatever. Yeah.
Oh, I'm not a hot pocket. Maybe I'll just leave it at that. It's not getting renewed, okay? It's not getting renewed. It's a web series, okay? It's not
Straight Comics of Hollywood. I'm not just a hot pocket.
Yeah, then
but I eat them.
Yeah, ellipses, and it's like, that's it? Okay. ...
Your biggest pet peeve in the world?
People that exaggerate.
What? But
I've done it for the whole show.
So your jokes then and your stories are always 100% how they happened. You never add a little.
I mean, I just don't like people when they like completely like. It's when I can call the exaggeration. Some people do it seamlessly.
So like liars.
Right. Yeah, liars. Like I didn't want to use the word someone that lied. Yeah, like what you said is like I can't be. I dated someone like that, and it was like torture. Like, she would just lie blatantly about the dumbest things. I'm like, oh, my God.
Because people are trying to impress you.
Yeah, and it's all like, and I guess it lets you know that they don't think they have good enough self-worth, where the reality is worth speaking of.
Interesting. That's a really great way to put it. Yeah.
Very psychological.
So that's one of my pet peeves.
All right, Paul, if we're not watching True TV tomorrow at 8 p.m., where can people find you?
You can find me on social medias. Paul Elia, E-L-I-A, nice guy. And my website, paulianiceguy.com. I have all my tour dates there. And holler at your boy. Yes. Yeah.
Holler at your hot pocket.
That's his grinder name, his insurance. You guys, but check out Stillwater. It looks great.
Thanks.
It's like a Jessica Fletcher Murder, She Wrote, but with like guys in the woods. I'm
all
about it.
Yeah. Please, guys, watch it. Write a review on iTunes. It's some of the best actors I've ever worked with have been in this movie, and there's such a strong cast, and it's a fun film, so definitely check it out.
Now, how long was the shoot?
We shot it in 11 days in Minnesota.
That's scary enough.
Yeah, 95 pages in 11 days.
Wow.
Oh, my God.
Yeah, we were cooking with gas.
There's some good chemistry, though. Really good chemistry.
Yeah,
which,
yeah.
How you build super fast, I don't know. Enrique, Artie, who's next?
I'll go next.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Enrique, what is your binge food? And I want you to be 100% honest.
McDonald's.
Oh.
Now we're friends.
Because what happened is like McDonald's opened in Venezuela when I was 15 years old.
Really?
So when it opened, it was like such a huge event. So to me, good memories and like comfort food.
Because it was so American, or because the food was so good?
No, because there were like, I remember one open in the center of the city, and the lines would go like down the street, and we were so happy to go to McDonald's. It was just like, this is so awesome. So it represents that to me. You know?
That's my 4 a.m. food. To be honest, if you want to win my heart, it's McDonald's or it's Panda Express. But Panda Express doesn't open till 11 in the morning.
I guess
Don't ask me
you
how
and
I
I
know
could
that.
be friends. I like Panda.
Okay, all right. Who was the most overrated actor in your opinion?
Jesus, overrated actor. Oh my God. You know what is so funny? Because I used to think it was Meryl Streep until I actually really started looking at her work. And now I'm obsessed with her. But for a very long time. You remember She-Devil? You remember She-Devil, how the character that she plays on She-Devil? That's exactly how I always looked at her. And now I respect her and I think she's the best. The only one that I've had the feeling like that's her.
It's funny because I always now see Meryl Streep first, and I see the movie second. I see her character second, so I think she needs to take a little break. I'm really serious.
No, I agree.
What is the Latin custom or food that you just don't get, even though it's part of your culture?
Jesus. Oh, there's this
I thought
one.
that was the answer.
That's Jesus. That's Jesus.
Univision's TMZ, whatever that is going to clip that. It's like, Enrique doesn't believe in Jesus.
They're going to put air quotes, Jesus!
Well, there's the custom for like New Year's that you have to chug down a bunch of grapes.
Because in Cuba, you throw the grapes out with water.
No. Like in Venezuela, it's like, yeah, what do you want to start the year choking with a bunch of grapes down your friggin' throat?
There's so many euphemisms for that.
Yeah.
You can either chug wine or choke grapes.
But choke on grapes? So I guess that's like the closest one.
Okay. The worst fashion trend that you ever fell victim to? You guys also Google search Enrique Sapene, because when you were in your like early telling they had you like the Menudo boys with your hanging hair and all that. Yes.
Right.
Look up Enrique.
I used to have Menudo hair. I don't know. I guess it was like my obsession that I have with Timberlands. When I was a kid, like I was just obsessed with them, and all my friends had the same pair of shoes, so we would all go out and be like Scientologists, all dressed up the same. You know,
and your feet are so small. I didn't know that they make them.
Yeah,
that
they're
small.
like keychains.
So funny.
Keychains.
Okay.
My shoe size is keychain.
That's hilarious. Hey, you know what? I own it. I buy clothes at the kids rack, which still to this day I do.
It's like Nordstrom rack, but
I'm on a different rack.
Yeah, except you're on the rack of land.
Okay. I have to say, tonight Enrique has brought it, because usually he shows up, he's like, hola. Most embarrassing song on your playlist. That's an American song.
Oh, the Titanic song.
Even I don't listen to that.
Yeah. Celine Dion, the Titanic song.
All right, Enrique, where can our viewers and listeners find you?
Well, they can find us both very soon.
I don't think we're allowed to say.
May, yeah. We have the show coming up. But yeah,
national TV, bitches.
We've said it already, national TV. It's going to glitter bomb. You guys are going to have a lot of fun. It's like the gay view. We're going to be kicking some butt, and we have some great guests, and
we
it's
don't
exciting.
share the same
and we
view
have
at all.
this crazy segments that are like so much fun, like gaily weds and stuff like that. It's going to be so much fun. And then on social media, at Enrique Sapene on everything.
Spell your last name.
My first name Enrique, Enrique, and then last name Sapene, S-A-P as in Peter, E-N as in Nancy, E.
And translate the last part of that, because you'll get a surprise.
Ya cállate.
All right, Artie Daily.
Hello.
Are you Irish at all?
A little bit.
Which part? The drinking part?
Mm-hmm.
Your worst audition ever?
Oh, God. I auditioned for Fran Drescher once when I was first starting out.
To play Fran Drescher?
I was playing the role of Fran Drescher.
It's a Lifetime movie of Fran Drescher.
But it was
Sheffield.
It was a Lifetime show, actually. It was Strong Medicine, and she was directing an episode. And I was so nervous, and my tongue, I've never had this happen, would not do what I wanted it to do.
That's not the first time I've heard.
Oh, man.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah.
Jesus again?
Again. I'm obsessed.
He's more Catholic than I am.
Yeah. Peace be with you.
I needed to say something about a pulse, and it kept coming out purse. And she let me, yes.
Well, she does love her gays.
She let me do it like 5 times, and finally she's like, "Let's have you read a different part." And she gave me the other one. But,
great!
But I was mortified. I'm like, "This is the most. It's like my second audition ever, and I'm not saying the right word, and I don't know why."
That's so funny. Purse. What
A
is
purse literally fell out of my mouth.
What is the name?
You're a Kardashian. Okay.
Well, we're gonna end the show because people think you're straight, so we're gonna end the show with
this
how
person,
the world,
a few others.
What is the name of your biography?
Oh gosh, cookies and how to eat them. That's all I do. What? Don't look at me like that. You don't know my life. You saw the childhood picture. That little pudgy kid with the glasses.
That was a lot of cookies. So the other part of your life, the follow-up would be like, Coke, it's not just a diet.
And then to sniff them, yeah.
Coke, it's not just a diet.
What is your guilty pleasure?
Oh, I never feel guilty about these things. But I listen to like Debbie Gibson all the time. And
Ooh, that's.
I don't feel guilty though. Like I have like 5 Debbie Gibson
like
albums.
Debbie Gibson too.
I didn't stop after.
She's
Electric
Deborah now.
Youth. No, she's not. She's back to Debbie. Respect.
She's like, I have to change my Instagram, you guys. It's like 322 followers. Okay, if you could live in any decade, which one would it be?
I think about that frequently. I think it'd be fun to live in a time like just on the verge of electricity, whenever that started. But then I think, God, it'd be so terrible to be gay in that time that I don't want to go back. I do. I feel like turn of the century. Why? Like old fashioned and everything.
There's no power. There's no like hygiene.
No, we're just getting it. Like when that stuff is just starting to happen.
So unless you're a really rich person, you're not getting it.
Maybe I'm rich. Why aren't I rich in your imagination?
Yeah, exactly.
All right, in your mind, what is the worst sitcom of all time?
There's so
Batman?
many. Terrible, terrible sitcom.
Did you say Batman?
Yeah, because it just sounded like Batman. He was like,
Okay. Okay.
Where is he?
I used to love it when I was a kid.
I can't. I mean, I love lots of sitcoms as a thing, and I grew up watching the terrible sitcoms like Small Wonder and.
She went to.
No, I love that.
But I don't think it would be. Think it's funny now.
We used to do back-to-back Punky Brewster and Small Wonder in Venezuela. It was amazing.
But Different Strokes was just weird. A rich white man having 2 black kids live with him was so weird. Because why would he?
I don't remember why he had them.
Exactly.
Yeah, they needed more exposition on that.
And then they call it Different Strokes.
Now they call it Get Out.
What happened to you? That was pretty. Oh, now you have like echo.
We're throwing them out. Look at us, man. This is an improv team right now.
Goddamn funny.
Yeah.
Yes.
You have great hair too, by the way.
Thank you.
I want to know how you do that.
Okay, the show's over. No, he does have great hair. Where can our listeners and viewers find you?
Artie O'Daly everywhere. ARTIE. What's apostrophe DALY, but they don't let you put apostrophes and things. So ARTIE ODALY.
All right, real fast, because we have to let Kurt go home to his wife. People think that you're straight.
Yeah, some do.
So give me the top 3 things I should do if people think I'm straight.
Oh, that you should do?
No, that people should do.
Oh, see, I just came up with things that I do to convince people.
Okay. Sleep with them.
Because it would be so awkward and clumsy.
All right, the top 3 things that you do to let people know that you're gay.
Well, typically, like I can, I talk about like pop culture and like divas that I like. Like I can list all of Paula Abdul's singles in order.
Oh, we have a picture of you grabbing up Paula Abdul.
Do you really have that?
Yeah.
It was my dream come true last year when Paula Abdul
it's a
touched
little
my hair.
creepy.
I mean, my hand, not my hair.
Yeah, you said hair. You said person.
There it is.
Oh, so creepy.
That's
literally.
awesome.
Look how she's looking at it. She's like, no,
like-
not now.
She's like security.
She's like, this would have been cute when you were 15, not now.
This picture is everything.
This is amazing.
This is the cover for your biography, by the way.
Yeah. Oh my God, I still love her. She followed me on Twitter after I posted that.
Oh, she's
She'd follow anyone on Twitter.
Yeah, I was gonna say. She's following Jenny Craig, but she's not following Jenny Craig. Anyway.
Oh my God,
you guys, we have to take Paul to the Abbey just so like all the hot straight girls can flirt with him, but just so we can hear that laugh. All the gay man's jokes. Yes.
Yeah. It's like bug repellent for gay men. I feel like. Is it?
Yeah.
Like
A little bit.
Whoa.
Yes.
Turned
Well, I
off.
don't know.
Real
Gay
quick.
guys like the straight. You
Right.
think
Yeah.
if it's a straight laugh,
Not
I'd
if
be
it
like,
laughs like that.
I guess.
Yeah,
so.
that's the thing is I laugh like that during
if
sex.
it
So I
laughs like that.
yeah.
Okay, so talk about pop culture. What's the second thing?
Oh, then the second thing I would tell people I sleep with a lot of guys like Blanche. So if I know Golden Girls, but that'd be actually
You just.
I'd be the Blanche. But what?
This is the
What?
gayest thing I've ever heard.
Well, yeah, I'm trying to convince people I'm gay. I'm trying to convince people. But then I'd say, no, actually, I'm a Rose because it was confirmed in season 7 that she was the actual slut.
Yes.
And she had
And
56
she killed all
boyfriends
of
in
her
1 year.
boyfriends, yes.
She didn't. Did she say she killed them?
Remember, she slept with him and killed him.
Yeah.
The killed part was not in the episode I saw. Like Rose killed her boyfriends
By having sex. Charlie died.
Yes, but that wasn't the same
then
episode. She
Artie,
didn't kill
remember?
56 boyfriends.
Okay,
in
so
1
what's
year.
your third, final step?
I would tell people that I'm straight because then people always don't think that straight guys are straight. They're like, no, I could turn you.
Oh,
that's
good
right.
job. All right, you guys, thank you so much. It's been so much fun. Kurt, thank you as always. Thank you for getting the haircut. Thank your wife. Let's not thank your stylist. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Enrique. Thank you, Artie. Thank you, Mom, in the chat room. She's probably at this point. We'll see you next Tuesday with Maria Conchita Alonso for some crazy times again. See you next Tuesday. This has been On the Rocks with Alexander, every Tuesday at 7 p.m. on Universal Broadcasting Network. Find me on Facebook on the Rocks Radio Show. Tweet me or Instagram me at On the Rocks On Air. See you next Tuesday!